It's been 42 days since Monte Vista has played a home game. Tonight, the Mustangs return to Sam Zakai Memorial Field to host Amador Valley, looking for their first EBL win of the season. Will Monte Vista defend home field? You'll find out next. Happy Friday, wherever you may be, from Sam Zakai Memorial Field on the campus of Monte Vista High School for this East Bay Athletic League matchup between Amador Valley, who's 5-3, 0-1 in the EBL, against the homestanding Monte Vista Mustangs. They are 5-3 and also 0-1 in the East Bay Athletic League. I'm Chris Babcock, joined by my broadcast partner, Craig Bergman. And first, we're going to talk about the Dons. They present a lot of problems offensively because of the dual, we use this term, right, Coach? Tristan Tia, he is quite an offensive threat as an athlete. He has been involved in 76% of the scoring for the Dons, and I know you've watched him on film this week. He can play from the pocket, but then he goes non-scriptive, extemporaneous, and he's going to be a problem for the Mustangs.
Well, when he's in the pocket, he is effective, but he's at his best when he breaks the pocket. And one of the things that you try and teach a lot of high school kids to do is when they break the pocket, don't look to run all the time. Get your eyes downfield and find a guy. He does as good a job as I've seen in high school with using his eyes down the field, leaving his eyes down the field, picking guys up, and his receivers do a really good job in that portion of the game because we used to have the scramble drill in practice all the time. When the quarterback breaks the pocket, you've got to find the opening as a receiver. His guys do a really nice job, and he finds them. And conversely, I think Monte Vista's got to try and keep him in the pocket. He is good in the pocket, but the big plays come when he breaks the pocket.
So one of the things for the Mustangs that they need to do defensively, if I listen to that quick breakdown, is have defined rush lanes. And don't try to be a hero, because once you rush past him or you give up contain, their receivers, like you mentioned, there's a lot of 7-on-7 going on. You have to latch on to that receiver, number one, and then your defense has got to be able to get to the quarterback. And, boy, he's a slippery player. And when we see when the Dons score tonight, if they score, I'm sure they will. They go for two. So you've got to, and getting that stop can also be valuable to the team. For the Mustangs, led by running back Julian McMahon, didn't have a big game last week against De La Salle. We just crossed a big dark line through that. Had a good game against Cal High, but he turned the ball over 2 times in a 2-score game, and you're the guy. You got to understand you're going to be targeted when you got the football in your hand.
And you got to have security, ball security the whole time, specifically when you're coming up on contact. And they always talk about the points of contact and high and tight and holding that ball. Got a little loose with it at Cal High, and as you said, it cost them twice. And I think the term that we need to really hit tonight is discipline, Be disciplined with your ball positioning. Be disciplined on defense in your rush lanes, and use the things that the coaches have taught you. These coaches have done a wonderful job of teaching them correct technique, doing the right things. The problem's been when they get into a game situation, they tend to do their own thing instead of doing what they've been coached to do. And if they're going to improve the way they can improve, they've got to be more disciplined in all aspects of the game tonight.
So 3 keys to victory. First, for Amador Valley, we tried to contact their coach several times, never heard back. But, it's no brain surgery. I think Monte Vista, they got to load up the box and stop the run. Monte Vista's out a couple of their big-time receivers. 3 top receivers are out tonight. Amador remains staying balanced. Coach, look at this. 183 rush plays, 181 pass plays. You want to stay with what got you here. And the thing they did really well against San Ramon last week was win on third down, and that's one of the Coach Millard's keys for Monte Vista is win on third down. So that's for the Dons. Obviously, there's a turnover and a lot of other things, but those are some simple things to measure. For Monte Vista, win the line of scrimmage, and that's playing physical football. But physical football, as Coach had mentioned, is playing with a purpose and being defined and being disciplined in what you do. Play downhill on both sides of the ball, and again, win on third down. Something's interesting. We went through this way too many times that we wanted to, and it's called the De La Salle hangover. So I'm going to let you talk about that, but just to give you a little insight, Amador Valley is not playing De La Salle this year, number one. And number two, all of their East Bay Athletic opponents have been, fortunately for them, have played De La Salle the week before. So Monte Vista, some guys out with injuries from the De La Salle game, and it wasn't cheap shots or anything. I'm not alerting to that. It's a physical game. Educate the folks as we go out for the coin flip about the De La Salle hangover and talk to the folks and educate people.
Well, when you play De La Salle, you know you're going to get a physical game. They run right at you. They're big. They're physical. They're aggressive. They're quick. And they're very deep. So they throw a lot of bodies at you. And the thing is, it's not just the game that wears on you. When you're practicing against that all week, it tears you up. It beats you up, and you're a little bit beat up going into the game. If you're going to simulate that offense, you've got to get the physicality. And then you come out of the game, and you're very beat up. And obviously they've had some guys this week with concussions and whatnot that won't be able to play tonight because of that. And coming into this game, you want to be at full tilt. You want to be everybody healthy. But having played De La Salle the week before, you're always going to have a couple guys dinged up. Even if they are playing, they're dinged up and they're still beat up from that game. So the De La Salle hangover is a real thing, especially when you're a little bit undersized and you're going against a big physical team. Now, I know we'll hit on later the fact that they haven't played any EBAL teams, no common opponents. And the big thing there is
9th week of the season, yeah.
This is supposed to be the EBAL. I don't know exactly where it's going in this league. When they don't have any common opponents in their league. And
into this game.
And this is week 9.
Because we get into a little history of it. And the Amador won the toss, and they're going to defer their choice to the second half. So we'll go with that. But a little history with these teams. Amador won last year 41-34 in a comeback win. Monte Vista was ahead by multiple scores and couldn't close the game.
5 turnovers.
Five turnovers and several 15-yard penalties. Overall, Monte Vista holds a 29-18 edge. The first game was won by the Dons on almost 52 years ago today, Coach.
Wow.
6 of the last 12 games have been decided by one score, and 19 of the 47 decided by one score. The big fellow, we were 12-9 against the Dons, but we won our last 3. So it's not how you start. Because we learned we got Junior Adam in our first opportunity.
Well, I think we lost to him our first 3 times.
Yes, we did.
So after that, we pretty much did pretty well against
took care of business. So the Dons will kick, and they're in their road white uniforms with dark numbers, easy to see. And Tia number 3, and there's several Tias on this team. You got Paul Tia as the center, so it's a family affair as the Mustangs take the field in their black uniforms. The quarterback for the Mustangs is Braden Turner, commit to Fresno. He's 99-154 for 1,429 yards, 64% completion rate, Coach, 13 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions, about 178 yards a game. And Braden this is a big game for him because he's going to throw to some guys that he obviously is familiar with but hasn't played in a game with. And we'll go into those lineups once we get to the Monte Vista gets the football. But talk about Turner and his kind of goal for him, well, to honor America, our national anthem. National anthem. Our officials, Cam Jones is our referee, Carl Ross, Jordan Smith, Jason Fethian, and David Mulvey. Monte Vista is scoring at 30 points a game, giving up 21 points a game, but they've given up 92 points of their 173 that they've surrendered this season in the last 2 weeks against Cal and De La Salle. They've got a -1 turnover ratio, which they were a positive turnover ratio before they played Cal. And so that's, maintaining that and keeping that possession of the football. And we'll see early on, Coach, I know you watched a lot of film. Amador will blitz, and it hasn't changed. They'll come from all angles, no rhyme or reason, and they're going to get you, but there's opportunities to get them. And what do I mean when I say that?
Well, first of all, Amador's always been known to be a very physical team. I mean, as long as we've been coaching and been around, they've always had a physical team. They will bring guys sometimes a little bit unsound. They'll do some things behind in coverage that don't make a lot of sense when they're blitzing, and they'll burn some zones that they probably shouldn't be burning, and hopefully that Monte Vista is able to take advantage of that if they see it. Now, you talked about Braden Turner a little bit before. I think tonight, with a lot of the weapons being out, he's going to have to use his feet more, and he's going to have to get out in the run game. Now, Julian's going to get the bulk of the load, that's for sure, but with Henry Lasker out of the game tonight, you really got to be careful that you give him the ball too many times, and so Braden can step up and be that extra running back.
Kicked, received by the Mustangs. Returning this all the way across the field out to the 23-yard line. And that is Dayton Braceland. And he'll get the start from Monte Vista. There's the starters real quick. Turner, McMahon, Braceland, Kenser, Mina, Wooshpard, Cabrezi, Strumpf, Elfriditis, Brown, and Frey for the Mustangs in their black jerseys.
And they're gonna come out and show empty first and try and see what Amador does to cover it. And it looks like they're going to come out of the middle of the safety and play cover 0. They're going to bring it.
Ran right into the coverage, not much shake. There's some conversion rules, Coach. If somebody's playing within 5 yards there, you turn that hitch into a 9 maybe, but goes incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs.
Well, and it looks like what Amador wants to do against an empty set is to play 0 and bring a lot of guys. 0 meaning man coverage. Monte Vista can expose them and get somebody over the top of that to the post.
Dons are giving up 24.62 yards a game, and a two-way player for them is in the backfield, Jetton. You'll see him as a fullback and line up in several different positions for Amador Valley. So it'll be 3rd and long, which you don't want to be against Amador.
You want to. That's the bread and butter right there for the Monte Vista offense. the reach. And the backside guard, Carson Brown, did not take a good angle. And those backside blocks are so important, and that's why. If your back wants to cut it up, you've got to maintain that backside block. He didn't, and when the back tried to cut it up, the guy was right there.
3rd and 8 for the Mustangs. Inline tight end is Wooshpard getting the start tonight. And he's on a crossing route. Turner throws, and it's caught, but we'll see if he does not get the spot from where he originally touched the football. So this is going to be 4th down. And we can get a replay of that. Here's Turner. You talked about using his feet. Do you think he runs for the first down here?
I think he did a nice job of stretching it out and drawing the defense to him with that one, because there wasn't a lot of running lane right there. But he did. He made the play last a little bit longer. He sustained that outside pressure, and he was able to get it up close enough where they can go for it on 4th down.
He caught the ball at the 35-yard line, but ruled back. So Monte Vista's got to get going here. You only got 40 seconds, and this is a risk here on 4th and 1. You give Amador a great field position if you don't convert here. Or you get your guys fired up when you pick up 5 yards on 4th and 1.
That's what you give it to your big running back. You let him get north-south and finish that run. And we've talked about that for the last 2 years, is getting Julian to finish runs. And right there he did. He knew he only needed 1 yard. And he puts his foot in the ground and he goes right there north-south.
Good job by Wooshpard setting the edge. It's always to run the stretch, the reach, the rocket, whatever you want to call it. You got to set the edge, and Wooshpard did a great job. So the Mustangs convert on 4th and 1. They're showing blitz. And although not a huge gain, still gets 3 yards on the run. As we mentioned, sometimes the Dons are going to get you.
They're going to.
Yeah, and you got to. I think the most important blocks, and sorry to cut you off, Coach, is those backside blocks.
Right there once again. There's a backside run through, and twice 54 is cross face, and you can't let a guy cross your face when you're running that zone play, because he will become a factor, especially if you're not setting the edge. And when it's to the boundary, it happens so quick, you must maintain those backside blocks.
But, boy, if you cross your face and you get off the football, you can really get a great block. We got a fly sweep to Kentzer. And short of the first down. Looked like he had a couple of opportunities to push it upfield, but still picks up a nice gain. It'll make it 3rd and short. And I also, too, Coach, talking about this, I think the Mustangs play a little defense with their offense. And explain what I mean when I say that.
Is to keep Amador's defense on the field. Slow it down and matriculate, as Hank Strand would say, matriculate the ball down the field. And use that clock to your advantage and keep their defense out there and force them to have to play 90 yards, 80 yards, whatever your drive's going to be.
So Kentzer getting the start tonight on the fly sweep, picks up 6. It'll be 3rd and 1, and they're going to feed it to Julian, and he's got room to run there. Finishing that initial contact, instead of getting 3, he gets 6, and you're running the reach to the boundary.
I love the play call right there. That's the first time they've run it to the weak side. They've been running that play to the strong side. And here I still saw a guy miss what looks like Amador's doing a lot of stunning with their line. They're slanting their guys, and to me, obviously it's only 4 or 5 plays in. It looks like they want to slant strong. And if that's what they're going to do, then the reach weak should be an excellent play.
Wooshpard resets.
Probably going to be naked this way.
Good fake. He's got him in the flat. Still gets the completion and the first down. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. But Torrin Dunphy.
That's something
that's a good football play right there. And explain why.
Well, he caught the ball, and he knew he couldn't outrun guys, so he just turned it up, went and got as much as he could, and he picked up the first down. That's a kid that knows how to play football. And I know tonight we're actually going to see him a little bit at running back, Coach Millard said, and we'll have a chance to see what he can do with the ball.
The key to the play was 1,001, 1,002, and setting the edge and then going to the flat, but staying in the vision of Turner. First down Mustangs, play action pass. Turner's got the 8 route. He's got a receiver. It just overthrows Kentzer. Not a bad pass, but, boy, he's got the play action really you could see. Amador Valley really stacking the line on that play fake by Turner.
Well, and you know, with all the new guys that he's throwing to, you got to get used to the speed that you're throwing to. He's been throwing to the same guys for the first 8 games.
Here's a good look, Coach.
And now you have a new guy who's maybe not quite as fast, but he does a great job of running. He's got to run a couple more steps before he looks back. And I'd like to see him throw that ball more to the near goal post, easier adjustment for the receiver.
But Kenser did a good job of stepping on the defender's feet and then breaking on the post. Wooshbard out here on the block, and Mina, or the attempted block, and that will go for no gain. So it'll be 3rd and 10 for Monte Vista.
And you're kind of in no man's land. This is not a place where you can't run. You can run the ball here and go for it on 4th down.
Well, gosh, if you're going to go for it on your own 30-yard line, certainly could go it on their 36.
For sure. But you need to get into a situation where it's manageable. You know, if you try and throw and it's incomplete, 4th and 10 is a tough one to get. But if you can get 5-6 yards on this play, then you get what you want.
That wheel route off that screen is open when the Mustangs want to go to it. Turner steps up in the pocket. He throws a dime. Duffy, 1st down, Monte Vista. Nothing better than a quarterback who steps up in the pocket and has a clear decision.
And he stayed in there.
Yes.
He didn't have happy feet. He took his drop, stepped right up in there, and delivered a perfect ball with a lot of zip right there, because you had to have a lot of power on that throw because you got 2 deep safeties sitting over the top of him. And he splits the 2 deep safeties, and you got to throw this on the line, which he did. Great throw, great catch.
A subtle thing, but Julian running the little sit route brought that linebacker to give him a clear vision to the completion to Dunphy. He's got 2 big catches here. It's going to be a screen. It's not well set up. But, man, that's a horse collar tackle, no call. He took a ride. Julian did big work just to get 4 yards because it wasn't set up real well.
Well, they didn't get much pass rush out of them. Amador decided they weren't going to pass rush on that. You'll see number 8, who's defensive end, the tackle released way too early, so did the guard, and he saw it. They got to set him up more, get him up the field, and throw underneath him. This is a really good play call by Coach Wingert. They just did not do a very good job of selling it up front with the offensive line.
That was McKay Knetzer on the edge, and we'll see him on offense for the Dons whenever they get the ball back. Mustangs playing defense with their offense and set back 8 yards. Naked, keep attacking Braden, keep attacking Braden, keep attacking Braden,
run.
Attacking. Very good job. He did that against Cal. Didn't run the – that's a touchdown. Excellent play by Turner. I'm saying that because coaching with Coach Bergman, the thing with the quarterbacks was to attack the line of scrimmage, because what's that do for the defense?
Well, it forces them to commit. Are they going to come up and take you, or are they going to sit back in coverage and utilize? You see Russell Wilson's fantastic at this. He gets out on the edge of pump fake. So does Patrick Mahomes. And it freezes them, and then they run for 10, 15 yards, just like Braden did there. What we talked about before, getting him involved in the run game, that's exactly what they need to do.
Dunphy with the subtle block on the edge, not the block in the back, and the Mustangs get on the board first, and the extra point is good. Let's watch that before we go to break. And this is 29 reach, naked right, and attacking. The Mustangs take the lead 7-0. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt. Nice student section. I love this. This is perfect. Our partner, George T. Schramm Mortgage. Contact 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm for your mortgage needs. GeorgeSchramm.com. See if the Mustangs try to kick it into the end zone. They do. It's been interesting, some of the games we've attended or we watch on video, where he's got a leg as a sophomore to kick the ball. That's his 15th touchback. But there have been a lot of times where they're kicking the ball short. This time they set their defense up for success as as the Dons will take over on their own 20-yard line. Their quarterback, Tristan Tia, committed to Oregon State. I believe he's the first Amador Division I quarterback since 1998 with Scott Cooperall. They've had some good quarterbacks since. I think I'm accurate of that. 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 10 rushing touchdowns. He has 2 100-yard games. When they line up in this formation, they love to run the football, and, of course, they pass. Short completion about 5 yards, and that was out in the flat, and that'll be a decent gain for the Dons. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
I'd like to see Monte Vista come out with a little bit more pressure this week and force him to throw a little earlier than he wants. We can't let him sit back there and plant that foot. He'll pick you apart if you let him do that.
Completion to Ben Stout. That's his 21st reception of the season. He also plays a little defense, motion across the formation, and it's swing screen out here to the running back. The Mustangs break down in space, give up about 4 yards, and that's Harrington. You'll see the Dons throwing a lot of screens. They're going to stretch the field horizontally, but then when they get in the scramble game, you got to keep everything deep. Monte Vista does a good job here.
Yeah, basically that's a long handoff. That's their version of the run. When they want to run, they get the ball to their guys outside with a quick bubble screen or a swing screen to the back, and you have to run to the football, and it forces you to tackle out in space, which is not easy at any level, let alone in high school.
3rd and 1. So this, and don't think that they're just going to run the football here. The Dons will pass on this. There's Canadian motion. So now 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6 because you got 2 men in motion, and the mechanics of that play was failed at the start.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Monte Vista's been doing this year, where they've had mistakes like that and put themselves in 3rd and 6. Now an opposing team does it. Let's see how they answer after making a mistake like that.
And as well, Amador will go for it on 4th down, and like we mentioned, they don't kick. It's got a great soccer tradition at Amador Valley, but as far as place kicking this year, they've left it up to go and get that 2-point conversion. So in their little 3-by-1 set, tight end in line, errant set, a snap, Tia throws, and that's nearly intercepted. But Monte Vista did a good job of locking on when he goes into the scramble drill.
Right there. When he's rolling that way, he's got to throw it that way. When you're rolling hard to your left, you can't throw on the run back across your body unless you're Patrick Mahomes. But they did a nice job of squeezing it to the sideline and forcing him to have to throw it there, and he only had one guy to throw to.
That's sophomore Caden Bosch of the Mustangs starting 3 sophomores on defense due to injuries. And we'll give their lineups the next time Amador has the football. The Monte Vista defensive lineup will give it to you the next time the Dons have the ball. Short kick, but we'll see how much lost yardage is on that. That's 14, 15, 17, 18 yards of lost yardage. You got to watch the kicker in warm-ups because he wasn't kicking deep, and that's lost yardage, and we never set up many punt returns. What did we want?
We want him to catch the ball.
Catch
it where it is, because right there, that's 1.5 first downs that you don't have to get. Now, I'll give him a pass on that one because the snap was bad and the punter was unable to get off a great punt. So I think he actually was aligned okay, but with the punter having to change his steps, it forced a shorter kick.
Monte Vista's second drive of the game, I think they went about 6 minutes on that last drive. Kentzer in motion across the formation. Nice cut by Julian.
That was a 7-minute drive.
You don't have to give me hand signals, big fella. Just come on in. Just come on in. Coach didn't think he was going to be able – I was going to want him back for this game because his 3 games he missed, he was doing fun stuff that I frankly wouldn't have minded being on with him. But anyway.
All football related.
It wasn't like we'll just keep it clean there. All right, fleet formation for the Mustangs, 2nd and 5. McMahon, and that ball's hiding tight.
That is a formation that's going to give them fits. If you look right there at the beginning of the formation, they actually left a guy uncovered.
Break
they weren't
it down
sure
for us here, Coach.
Well, they weren't. You had three guys set away from the tight end. and only 2 guys out to cover him. You'll see number 10 coming in, and the slot receiver. He's not sure what to do, number 10 is. And now with the motion over,
it's a numbers
game, and you've got the numbers when you bring that guy across if they don't adjust to it.
So first down, Monte Vista. Just kind of plodding along here. Their biggest play of that last drive was a 4th-and-1 conversion on their own 35-yard line. Play action pass. They're going to go up deep again, but then they get a short one to Wooshpard and a big gain. And he spins off 2 would-be tacklers. Down to the 1. Touchdown, Monte Vista. Wooshpard goes 54 yards. Wide open over the middle. Turner steps up in the pocket. And Wooshpard, the senior or the junior, getting the tight end start tonight. Look at Turner step up.
And when he attacked the line, you'll see that middle linebacker, both middle linebackers freeze,
yep.
And it forces them to stop, and he's able to get the ball over the top of them into the dead spot.
Subtle play at the end. Oh, I don't like him spiking the ball. Give the ball to the official, big fella. You made a great play. You don't want to cut. You talked about being disciplined. That's 54 yards. Turner to Wooshpard. And for Turner, that's his 33rd career touchdown pass. So Monte Vista pulls up 14-0. We'll watch this on the replay before we go to commercial. Turner, play action pass. Steps up in the pocket, just like you said, Coach. And there's a big bubble over the middle. And then Wooshpard cut it off before he spikes it. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV.
Ned Milin has over 20 years of experience in the financial industry, serving individuals, their families, business owners, and corporate executives. Ned proactively helps to develop a comprehensive financial plan in order to provide the appropriate investment strategy for clients. This includes retirement and estate planning, asset management, tax planning, and liability management. Please contact 1998 Monte Vista alum Ned Milin to develop a plan for your family. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals.
George T. Schramm Mortgage, contact the 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm for your mortgage needs. And another touchback. That's his 16th of the season. And Kerrigan just a sophomore. And that just gives your defense, it makes the other, not a lot, any teams can consistently go 80 yards for a touchdown drive.
Well, and not only that, I like the way he's directionally kicking it. He's kicking it to the, inside the left hash, which even if it doesn't get to the end zone, it forces a return that side, and you can set your coverage that way. And so that's something to build on for the future.
So there's a reason why, Coach is so successful in football. Here is breakdown before the game. Turner needs to use his feet, and he has in 3 plays tonight. One was with a run, but the other 2 using his feet to make great throws. So Amador will try to answer. Run over the middle is Dunas. Got the start last week, had 14 carries and 81 yards against San Ramon Valley. Last week, Amador was up 14-0. Against San Ramon Valley.
Well, Amador played extremely well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like San Ramon played poorly. Amador is a good football team, and they took them right to the end, and both teams had a hard time stopping each other. There really wasn't a lot of defense played in that game.
Okay, they do this triangular bunch formation a lot, and you normally run a screen. It's 2nd and 6. There's the screen. Got to come up in space. Such a nice job by Indresic, who's playing with a little bit of a cast on his hand. But watch how he doesn't make the tackle, Coach, but watch how he just keeps everything inside on the screen.
Well, he uses his hands. He gets his hands on the receiver who's trying to block him, and then he forces it back in. You just use your hands, get inside, make him go inside.
But he turns him
and
up.
A good play that way. Turn him right up inside. Torn Dunphy makes the play.
And what are guys doing in the black jerseys? Well,
run into the football.
Run into the good things happen when you run to the ball. So now it's 3rd and 5. We talked about winning on 3rd down. The Dons are going to empty the backfield. Got to be aware of the quick pass or the quarterback draw. And that'll be the end of the quarter. So Monte Vista, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. They lead the Amador Valley Dons, and Coach is going to explain what a Don is when we come back from commercial. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for 75 years. Monte Vista Football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. Persevere Lending, we have capital available.
So the Dons, 3rd and 5. One of the keys, both of our keys, was the winning on 3rd down. Empty set. Tia takes the shotgun snap. He's going to take a shot downfield, and it goes incomplete. Good coverage there by Indresic, and it goes incomplete. So the Mustangs, on 3rd down defensively, they're getting off the field, and they'll force the Dons to punt, and we'll see if they come up and catch the football.
Well, they show like they're going to come with pressure, and they don't. They back off into it. And I think what he wanted to do was he wanted to go to the short underneath route to pick up the 1st down, but Monte Vista did a nice job. Their inside linebacker slid underneath number 3, and he didn't have him to go to, forces him to throw the fade, which we know is a low percentage pass. And when you forced him to do that on 3rd and 6, you've won that battle.
It's like the Millards lived in Pleasanton and went to school at Foothill and never played against Amador Valley. So there's some familiarity with this team.
There's
Another
the bad snap again.
Got to make a play if you're Amador. And he doesn't. That'll be a safety. So the Mustangs will get 2 points.
They may call it at the 1-yard line. They're going to call it down at the 1-yard line, which is beneficial for Monte Vista.
Well,
because they can have it score a touchdown now.
Right. But I'm thinking, hey, it's a safety, and we're going to get the ball back in a short field and make it even worse. But, hey, that's all right. You're right. 1-yard line.
That might even be the 1-inch line for our side.
Let's watch that again, Jace. So there's been 2 errant snaps. This one, the punter couldn't make a play, and it's not an easy play.
Right there, if as a coach you talk to
I don't know how you call that down at the 1.
Well, he picked it up at the 1 and where the contact happened, which is that is his forward progress, and so he wasn't hit in the end zone. What he should have done right there, and what you try and teach your kickers,
make a play.
Well, is to throw the ball, is to kick the ball out of the end zone.
Right,
kick it out of the end zone.
Mustangs,
don't give him a chance.
Heavy formation, and Julian McMahon scores a touchdown. So Julian McMahon, that is his. I write all these notes, Coach, and then I can't read my own writing. He needs 3 touchdowns to pass. Now only needs 2 to pass, and a great friend of ours and an advertiser, we're going to play his commercial after this extra point. Persevere Lending is Damon Bowers. So Damon had 37 touchdowns, but he had 2 two-point conversions. So Julian doesn't have any of those. So he's got 2 more touchdowns, and he'll move into 4th place or 6th place in all-time scoring for Monte Vista.
And, boy, that's a good guy to pass. Damon Bowers was a tremendous player and a tremendous guy, as we all know. And to even be up there with what he did is
very
pretty good company.
List. Quality guy and a big supporter of Monte Vista football. Monte Vista leads Amador 21-zip. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
Lending, based in Danville, specializes in the brokerage of privately funded real estate loans in California with a focus on the Bay Area. Monte Vista Football Hall of Famer Damon Bowers' team at Persevere Lending can help you achieve your financing goals with their array of alternative and unique mortgage options. Damon has a 20-year track record of success and is ready to go to work for you. Go to perseverelending.com to learn about our strategic, creative, and efficient loan programs for residential and commercial properties and our safe, secure, and lucrative investment opportunities. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you.
George T. Schramm Mortgage. Contact the Monte Vista Football Hall of Famer George Schramm at georgeschramm.com. short kick, and then Amador will take the ball on their own 33-yard line. So factually, the first two kickoffs, Monte Vista kicked through the end zone and they were touchbacks, and Amador got the ball on their own 20-yard line. Here the Mustangs squib kick, and they'll get better field, not great field position, but they'll get the ball at their 33-yard line. 21 points, this offense can put points up on the board. Monte Vista's, as you had mentioned, Coach, they got to stay disciplined here and keep everybody in front. Don't do any imitations of the Lyndon Rodstead Blue Bayou coverage.
Well, if you're Amador, you've got to try and run the ball a little bit here and establish something up front.
And just as we say that, Knetzer, the tight end, little Y pop, simple completion, and that is Amador's first down there. Simple release here with just a little pop pass, seam route, and goes untouched up the field.
Well, Tia does a wonderful job here throwing it up where only his guy can get it. Throws it at a spot, knows there's a size advantage right there, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them do that multiple times tonight, utilizing the size of Knitzer.
We'll give you the Monte Vista defensive starters after this play, but they get the first down. Run up the middle, short gain for Amador Valley. The Monte Vista defensive starters.
You know, if you're Amador, you want to do
Dixon, Frey, Cabrezi, McMahon, Wooshpart, who had the touchdown catch, Dunphy, Grisham, Basha, Jack, Mina, and Kentzer. There's three sophomores out of Danville, California that make up this Monte Vista defense. 2nd and 7. Weak right formation. Knetzer will be in line, checking with Tia. Tia back to pass, and he throws it with great timing, but the accuracy wasn't quite there. It was incomplete. Wanted to go to Stout, and it goes incomplete, and it'll be another 3rd down.
Well, defensively, good job of shutting down the gap between the receiver and the corner. The corner stepped up, and it threw the timing off of the receiver. He wanted to run a speed cut out, which is a timing route, but the corner stepped up and forced his footwork to chop, and just that little bit of a chop slowed him down enough that ball wasn't going to be there on time.
So 3rd down, empty backfield for the Dons. Scrambles out. Mustangs have good containment, but breakdown in coverage, and that's going to be a touchdown. 48 yards, just like that. And we talked about what's one thing when Tia's in the pocket. It's another thing when he's out of the pocket, and he hits Harrington for his 5th touchdown reception of the season, and the Dons are going to go for 2.
Just a terrific throw. I mean, he's running full speed, and to put it on the money like that, I mean, you've got to stay with your guy. We know he's going to look down the field for the throw. I'd rather, if I'm the defensive coach, I want him to run the ball. I'd rather see him run it than throw it down the field, because that's tough on those DBs when he's looking downfield and forcing that throw. So, great job by Amador. Good call, good play call, but obviously the kid making a good football play.
So that didn't take long, just over a minute for the Dons to get onto the board. So the 2-point conversion, follow 44. And Tia, don't have a signal yet. I mean, we don't like these huddles in the middle of the field against the Dons. It gives me the shakes. Okay. So the 2-point conversion is converted. And this is Tia again. Just following the leader. Pretty good job up front by the Dons. And we'll keep it here. But just the start of that drive, we talked about how you want to keep guys in front. So when Tia gets 5 or 6 seconds and goes a little schoolyard, and, Dunphy's in coverage for 5 or 6 seconds, the initial route he covered. But it's the second when he does the out, and then it becomes an up, and it's a 48-yard touchdown.
You talk all week defensively about forcing a team to move the ball 80 yards in multiple plays, not 1, 2, 3, 4 plays. You want to make them go the length of the field and do it without making a mistake. That's extremely hard at any level to do it without an offside penalty, a drop, a turnover. One play scores like that, those are killers.
And then Hyde kicks it into the end zone. Another sophomore kicker. But you did give him a shorter field. I know it was only an extra 12 yards, but the 20 to the 32, I know what you're going to take all day long. So the Mustangs have had the ball 3 times. Granted, the last possession was at the 1-inch line and they scored. But they're 3 for 3 here. They're going to put the ball in the right hash as the Dons answer, and they get that 2-point conversion. So it's 21-8. So that touchdown pass for Tia is his 21st of the season. 1st and 10 for Monte Vista. McMahon, forward lean, maybe gets a couple. Wasn't a lot of room there. Pretty good job by the Dons up front of clogging things up, and you'll call his name all night. Jack Jetton with another tackle. The throwback, fullback, linebacker for the Dons.
Julian's got to hit it up in there a little bit harder than what he did. He had a little soft feet on that. Just move that pile. Use that 215-pound frame. Move that pile for an extra 3 yards.
2nd and 8 for Monte Vista. Turner. So this is all, it looks like our old 94, all hitch, but the Dons are playing right along that 5-yard pattern, and it goes incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Well, they're mixing up some coverages. They're playing some 2 deep and 3 deep. They've got to recognize receivers and the quarterback got to be on the same page. That's got to turn into a fade when you have a press corner like that. Not a great play call against press coverage. You'd rather run some things across the middle. And when they're in that 2 deep, they're opening up to the run because they've got less guys in the box. And you're going to see it again here, a 4-cross type look, but it looks like 2 deep.
Dunphy in motion towards the Amador Valley side. Turner throw, and it's intercepted. Off the hands of Dunphy into the hands of Jetton, the linebacker, just has a nose for the football, and here's an example. Not a great throw, but it did hit Dunphy in the hands.
Yeah, they're trying to run a little crossing route. 836H cross, that's the play call. It's a good play call. If he throws it out in front of him, he's got room to run. That's a tough one. That obviously it's an interception on the quarterback, but the receiver getting his hands on it is a big portion of that.
So the Dons, the Mustangs turn it over, so now they're -2 turnover ratio for the Mustangs on the season. That is Turner's 3rd interception, and they'll go right back in the air, and it's a flat route, and this is going to turn into a touchdown. That's just 96. Harrington takes it and goes 28 yards just like that. So the Dons, in less than a minute and 30 seconds, score. Well, they've got 14, looking for 16. So they're going to run the 2-point play here. You got to defend the whole field.
Yeah, poor angle out of the corner. He's got to do a better job of coming up to the outside. He can't come up inside and let him turn down the sideline and make it a foot race. You've got to force it back in where your pursuit's coming from.
Mustangs got to get a stop here. And they don't.
Backside, you got to keep rolling with it. He stopped. The corner stopped. You got to keep chasing. And when he's rolling, you got to roll with it. Hard, hard, hard.
Foley with the 2-point catch. So 21-zip looked pretty good, but not anymore. The Dons have answered back. They're trailed by 5. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV. American asphalt's okay. So the Dons have answered and then some. Short kick. Mustangs got a field that they do on their 20 and get a short return up to the 8-yard line or the 28-yard line. And Monte Vista, I think that's Boscha with the return.
Heady play. Go back, catch it, and get what you can out of it.
Don't want that ball to hit the ground. So short. Talking about sudden change, Coach. So what's the answer to a sudden change? And we talked about it earlier in the game, was about playing defense with your offense.
Get back to the run game. Don't get cute with them. Get back to the run game. Put yourself in 3rd and 2. Don't put yourself in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, which they did in the last possession.
Dunphy motion across the formation. Counter for the Mustangs. And not much there. We're not attacking the hole, and the pullers are pulling, but they've got to go and get physical. And you talked about the physicality, and they just didn't have much there.
Well, they broke down at the point of attack where they're trying to get their double teams. Right guard and right tackle have got to get push out of their defensive tackle. You'll see the guys on this side got to get more push. When that end squeezes like that, that play should actually bounce outside. And with him trying to cut up in there, the defensive end played that extremely well. That was Goldsworthy. Did a nice job of squeezing that hole down. That play's got to bounce outside.
So it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Mustangs, and they're going to the empty set.
And that's
McMahon on the crossing route, and
good throw. Got to catch that ball. It's a head high ball that if he catches, it's a foot race. That's the perfect play call right there.
So 3rd and 9 for Monte Vista. Pretty good job here by Masiak on the coverage on McMahon. But if he catches it, breaks that tackle, the middle of the field is where you've got to attack Amador Valley. It'd be tough to attack them outside.
Well, I know one adjustment I would make here is when you go to empty, that's their answer is to go 4 across man coverage, bring an extra guy, but they're giving the middle of the field wide open. Get your fastest guy and play him inside so a linebacker has to cover him and get him to the post.
3rd and 9, the Dons in coverage, but that ball is thrown behind the intended receiver. Braceland on the 4 route, but Turner threw it behind the intended receiver, and now the Mustangs are going to punt for the first time of the game, and Amador's 1 possession away of taking the lead.
They run a little wheel route here with a dig. And he's got to wait and let that clear a little bit more. And the receiver's got to come out of his break a little sharper. He's rolling into it, just kind of rolling and floating with it so the guy can undercut it. He's got to make that a sharper cut and make him chase from behind rather than cutting the angle down.
Dual returners for Amador Valley. They're going to let the outside guys run clean up the field. So you've got to break down in space here. Kerrigan, the kicker, gets a good Monte Vista bounce. They only lose 6 yards, and Amador Valley will take over on their own 35 with 8:06 left in the second quarter.
Right there, you can talk to your punter. If you look at that set, they're playing what they call a punt safe, and they're not rushing the punter. They're trying to set up a return. You got to tell your punter when you get that look, slow yourself down. Give your coverage a chance to get down there. You can take your time with that punt because they're not rushing. They're looking to set up a return, hold it a little bit longer, let him get down the coverage, and then kick it.
Empty backfield here for the Dons. Tia scanning the defense, looking for opportunities. Motion across the formation. Bubble screen here. It's juggled and will lose yardage. Good defense by the Mustangs. McMahon got there early. Didn't get the initial tackle, but the Mustangs run into the football.
Yeah, great job by McMahon right there out in space. Like you said, he didn't make the tackle, but he slows him down, and they got the bodies coming to it. That's really a nice play by Julian in space to try just to get a hold of the guy, slow it down, and let the pursuit catch up.
Knetzer missed the block in space, but the way Julian reacted, you could tell that he was well prepared coming to this game, knowing that you've got the bubble screen to the boundary and well defended. So it'll be 2nd and 15 for the Dons. They show screen and they hit it, and there he goes. Huge gain. Harrington has been a royal pain for the Monte Vista defense. This is, I believe, a 40-yard gain. This is just, we call this in window. You swing the back, And walk us through this, Coach.
As you swing them, and your line just basically punches and goes downfield. And then you're looking for the receiver coming down. The Great League Gross Cup used to call it a down-the-line screen. We used to laugh at that.
Yep.
It's a middle screen from a receiver. Now, what's got to happen on that is your defensive line has got to stop and freeze. They're letting you go for a reason. Get back and retrace your steps, and you get right back into that throwing lane.
Harrington's last 3 receptions, Coach, 115 yards. Play action pass, fake the fly sweep. Tia's got all day. Throw over the middle, and it goes incomplete. Jason, could we go back to that screen pass? If Julian, the last play he read it, but there's got to be communication. In, China, right?
Well, you look at our defensive line. They just keep running up the field. If you go back a little bit more, you'll see if our defensive line freezes and comes back, they're right in the throwing lane. Okay, you watch the three defensive linemen up front. They keep going after the quarterback, and then right where they were, he catches the ball.
If they retrace their steps, they might be called for a felony assault. So conversion, so it'll be 2nd and 10, and this is when they get into this heavy I formation. Cadets are in motion, and it's an ISO play, and the Mustangs are all over it. So nice play by Grisham, another sophomore, just getting up and getting dirty and grabbing some cloth. We like our 33 linebackers. You got the Matt Russies of the world, the Connor Shays, and not a good block by the Dons, and wrapping up, and the Mustangs rallying to the football.
Julian did a wonderful job with his hands. He shoved that tackle right back into the play.
And Mina, so 2 sophomores get together with the help of a senior, taking on a blocker. So it's not always about making the tackle. It's setting up your teammates. You got to play team defense. Harrington in motion. Got to watch him.
All-out blitz.
Got to get him. Oh, that's a strip. Whistle hasn't blown. Whistle is not blown. Whistle is not blown. So they're going to call intentional grounding. So this is from the spot, and it's a loss of down, correct, Coach?
Correct. It is a loss of down, and it is marked from the spot of the foul.
But did you hear a whistle blow?
I did not hear a whistle blow. And I don't
see a signal by the officials. I don't see anything.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't really make a intentional grounding call when the guy gets hit when he's throwing it, because the ball obviously couldn't get where he wanted it to go, and he was forced into that. So I'm not sure.
I think this is a fumble.
Well, it can't be a fumble if they called it intentional grounding.
No, I'm disagreeing with the intentional grounding call, and I'm calling this a fumble. But it's a loss of down. The Monte Vista Mustangs get a stop, and we talk about complimentary football.
Well, you look, his arm's going forward. He's trying to throw it, advance it forward. I don't know who to, but it is definitely going forward. He threw it there.
No, and I agree, but I don't see anybody making a signal that it's incomplete. That's what I just like. It's an obvious call to me. But I don't, we bag on our officials. So you got to move up here. You got to move up. This is going to be a short kick. It's going to be a short kick. Well, we didn't lose. Well, so Monte Vista loses 8 yards, and they'll take over on their own 12-yard line, but their defense gets a stop. And they got to make a note of that all-out blitz and also see how Amador does react. So the Mustangs get the football. And how about a first down run here as they have the football on their own 12-yard line?
You know, they've got to get back to doing some of the motion and changing the tight end and shifts, because that was giving them the advantage.
Think, right? Make Amador think and adjust.
Get back to that fleet formation where Amador really had a hard time adjusting to that.
1st and 10 for Monte Vista. Play action pass. He's got Dunphy wide open. Down to the 48. So shows what we know. So that's a nice gain. That's 36 yards for Dunphy, the junior.
Nice job. Really tough throw. When you're play action to the left, you got to get your shoulders back around. Braden did a really nice job getting his shoulders back around and getting rid of it quick. play action, held those linebackers so that Torrin Dunphy was able to get in behind them.
Dunphy came into the game with 12 receptions. He's already got 2 big catches, and then you got Whoosh Part as well. So the Mustangs convert. We got a little trickeration. We called this a flea flicker, and he throws. He's got pretty good coverage there, and it goes incomplete. But the Dons weren't fooled, Coach.
No, Dons weren't fooled, and that's one of those things. And they did it against Cal High too. They ran the reverse into the boundary, and it happens so quick. You don't let it develop. You got to run it and let that thing develop a little bit longer, so that those safeties can see the run. It happened so quick into the boundary that they were able to stay deep and not get behind them.
So it's a tendency, right? It's a tendency. So Amador Valley, they're well coached. So when they're in the boundary early in the down, just off a big play, they're going to run the little trickeration. Well, trick or treat was yesterday. It goes incomplete, 2nd and 10. The Mustangs this is zero coverage here. You got Mina breaking through and Coach, the sophomores coming to play. We're talking about some new guys getting opportunities. This looked like no play.
Well, and Amador is confused in this situation. They actually brought the guy who was covering out here. You'll see number 9 comes on, and I don't know why he's coming. He has man coverage on that, and that's a screw up on their part. And that's Monte Vista's got to take note. That set is something that they need to take advantage of.
Ben Stout wasn't very stout with that tackle, and Mina, another one of these young football players. Yes, the Mustangs have some quality senior players, but they've got some good underclassmen, and the JV's also won tonight, by the way. Here's that counter, and Julian runs through the tunnel and picks up a nice gain, gets 5 yards there, maybe on that run to the boundary. 4 minutes and counting here from Sam Zackheim Memorial Field. Here's the reach. Coach.
They're actually going to run reach this way, and a nice job with the tandem and a nice cut right there. Got north-south. What I mean by north-south, going up the field. He's not running sideways. He's not running laterally. He's running down the field where he's going to get his shoulder square and finish.
Important drive here for the Mustangs. 2nd down. Cancer in motion across the formation. Dunphy with the wham block. Coach, Dunphy just does a lot of good things. The line did a great job up front, but watch the wham block.
And I love the play call. Coach Winger came back and runs the belly, which is the inside zone. Out of the same look, they just ran the outside zone. It's the exact same formation, same stuff, but they're running an inside zone, and that play cuts back. It's designed to cut back. Dunphy did a great job of kicking that in to out. But the linebackers flow thinking it's going to be the stretch to the boundary like they had just done the play before, and they come back with the inside zone. That really opens up your whole offense.
3 minutes and counting here for Monte Vista. 1st and 10 on a drive that started at their own 12-yard line. They blitz into this, and Julian's kind of tiptoeing. Still finds room to get a couple of yards. But you got to recognize that offensively.
Your buddy Greg Papa calls that a gun run, and I call it just a zone play. But I don't like the mesh out of the. You'll see how slow it happens in the backfield. You can't get downfield. You're pulling your guard and tackle on that, and the running back is right behind him. There's no separation, so it puts him in a tough place when you run that out of the shotgun.
Okay, so McMahon's who's going to take a rest, and so Dunphy will move into tailback. Yes, he does also drive the team bus. Just a junior, really good football player. Reach. Dunphy comes into relief. Looked like a face mask, no call.
Up the field, and runs hard.
Amador will call a timeout. So the Mustangs not quite in the red zone, but Dunphy can play tight end, can play H, and yes, he can play tailback.
Well, and you know what? He knows he's not going to juke a lot of people, so he just puts his foot in the ground and goes. Right there. Finishes the run, gets 3 yards after contact. That's what you're looking for. That's what I really want to see Julian get better at that. And taking that 4-yard gain, turn it into a 7-yard gain, putting your team in a 2nd or 3rd and 3.
So Monte Vista next week will host San Ramon Valley. Amador Valley will play Cal High. And with this new playoff format, competitive equities, a couple of my favorite words, the pregame will be at 7. The kickoff will be at 7:15, maybe a little bit afterwards because we've got our it's Coach Berkman's favorite night. It's senior night for the band, the cheerleaders, for the football team. So third down here for the Mustangs, 3rd and 4, certainly 4 down territory. But you got one-on-one opportunities here for the Mustangs. Naked and goes incomplete.
Got to come out of that fake hard. You got to come out. He came out tiptoeing. Come out hard. And like he did on the touchdown run, attack the line of scrimmage. He was running backwards.
Yeah, there's nobody
on that.
outside.
And it's impossible. It's really hard to make a throw when you're running backwards. You'll see he's fading backwards. He's not attacking the line of scrimmage. He's got to bust out of that naked much harder than he did right there. He did it the first time. He didn't do it there, and it cost them.
Woospar did a good job. He sealed the edge. But if you hesitate there and the guy's running full speed, you're not going to win that. You've got to fake, and then you always say this, and you got to attack the line of scrimmage and create that run-pass option. Although we always, preferred the pass, sometimes the run's just as good.
This would be a good opportunity to call a freeze play and try and pick up a freebie. Don't even call a play, but have some motions, try and draw them off, and then take your timeout.
You got 3 timeouts, most certainly. And then the mechanics of the play don't quite work, and the Mustangs call a timeout. So they're going to talk about it. They've converted on 1 4th down. So Coach Wingert, he's the gentleman with a very large head, and we love Joey. And then you got Coach Millard, and then the Mustangs are going to talk about what they're going to do here. You got to run your best play. The Dons have 2 timeouts left, and as we've seen tonight, they're very capable of moving the ball, and they do get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and to keep them off the field right here, to try and punch this in would be a huge, huge momentum boost for Monte Vista. And, I'm reminded that Coach Russi is not here tonight. He's spending he had his little baby daughter, Gwendolyn Alice Russi, 8 pounds, 5 ounces, and 20 inches tall. That's only 2 inches shorter than him.
And she didn't come out with a beard on either. Come on. Look at Mrs. Babcock bringing us coffee. She's wonderful. Don't deserve her. Motion across the formation is Dumphy.
Oh, good rub. He got a good rub. Good rub. I threw it too late, but he got it.
What a play. What a play. This is the subtleties of being –
We have a flag down?
Yeah. It's right at the 15-yard line.
Late hit?
Well, 15-yard line.
And on us. He's got to throw that quicker.
Yep.
And if he throws it quicker, there wouldn't be anybody downfield. There shouldn't have been anybody anyway. I'm not sure who got downfield as I'm looking.
Right there.
Backside.
Yep. Ooh, this is Coach, okay. We've this year on field goals.
This is one where I might try to go for this.
Yep. I might maybe just go freeze play, like you said, and try to pick up the 5 yards.
And then take a timeout if you need to.
This is a 42-yard attempt.
And I'm guessing Amador looks like they're going to be in a field goal safe.
Coach, is he even 7 yards back?
No. He's 5 yards from the ball.
The mechanics now are showing that it might not be a well-executed play, but we'll give it a chance here.
They're not going to rush too hard, though. They're playing more.
Shows you what we know. Oh, just short. So, since the ball went into the end zone, the Dons will take over on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, maybe that's why he moved it up 2 yards. He should have moved it up 3.
So the Mustangs will need to get a stop. It's high school football. The clock stops after a first down, and the Dons have 2 timeouts.
This is an eternity. The way they play fast. They throw the ball around. They can get a lot of plays off. Time really shouldn't be a factor for them.
That triangle bunch formation, here comes the middle screen, and the Mustangs still give up 9 yards. In this situation, you're almost in that, when they're in that formation, Coach, you're almost better off telling your defensive lineman, don't rush.
Yeah, don't rush, and when they've run that formation, the ball's been coming out of his hand quick, or they're running a screen. So you don't want to really be blitzing because they'd fall right into their hands with that. You got to play coverage in that set. Same thing here. They're in an Eagle set, which is 4 wide receivers, obviously going to throw the ball. But they haven't thrown quick out of this. They've been trying to throw the ball down the field out of this set.
Shallow cross, and the official gets the pass defense. And you know what?
The 12th defender.
That wasn't even close. I love how number 12 grabs his head fully, but it was nowhere near you, big fella. So the clock will stop. So it'll be 3rd down and 1. Here's that shallow cross. And good job by the defender. Whoosh part, having his head up, reading the crosser. Maybe somebody said China. Maybe somebody said in. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Maybe the Mustangs get a stop. Maybe get the ball back.
And this is a scenario where they're going to probably go quick to try and get the first down. I don't know if I'd want to heat them up here on this one either.
Tia. Complete. And a broken tackle. Goes to the Hyde. Hyde, the kicker, can also catch the football. And his ribs might have got a little sore, but boy, this is a big completion, wide open over the middle.
A great throw, great catch. He knew he was going to get hit.
And runs right through contact. So the Dons are in striking position here.
And he's only a sophomore as well.
Tia, touch, Harrington. He's only got 150 yards plus receiving in the second quarter. Just the second quarter.
Yeah, they're having a hard time staying up with him. You got to know where he is on the field. He's a game breaker for them.
So he's come into the game with 50 receptions for 848 yards and 4 TDs. He's got 2 touchdowns already. The Dons call a timeout with 35 seconds left. So still have a lot of time. 1 timeout left.
And they can get a first down, which would stop the clock as well.
Yes.
So they've got 4 downs right here. Time is really not of the essence the way they play. They can. There's not a problem with that. They're going to be able to run as many plays as they need to here.
So if my Chico State math is correct, Harrington's over 1,000 yards. I don't know the last time Amador Valley had a receiver that got 1,000 yards receiving, but Harrington's in that club, and he's just a junior.
Yeah, who would have thought 20 years ago that Monte Vista would be the one that ran a fly sweep today?
Yep.
And Amador, who ran the fly sweep under Coach Sierra for all those years,
we come
very
with the fly
effectively.
swatters, swat the fly. And now everybody runs a fly sweep.
Yeah, everybody. They call it a jet sweep now.
Yeah. Not me, Coach. I hold on
it's
to my. I
always the
still
fly
hold to my.
sweep.
The other night, they were calling it an end around. I'm like, that's a fly sweep. I digress. First down, Tia's got a receiver, throws it up, and it's intercepted! Do we have a chance for a return? The sophomore out of Denville, California, Grant Mina. What a play!
Did a terrific
What
job.
a play, Coach.
That's going up and getting the ball.
Wow.
He didn't wait for it. He went up and he took it. He took the ball.
Watch this play from the sophomore. Bam. And then he goes, I'm going to go make a play. And nobody's blocking in the back. You got some blocking down here. Dakota having a block. So, hey, Monte Vista's got 2 timeouts left here.
Yeah, and, obviously they need to get a lot of yards to get a field goal attempt
You
here.
run draw here?
I might give it a shot, go deep. This is an opportunity. I might take 3 shots deep.
The bass guitar is coming out for Julian McMahon. Get out of bounds, big fella. There's a spear. No call. That's a first down. Julian's receptions this year have dropped off considerably versus last year.
Yeah, they haven't utilized him out of the backfield like they have. Now, part of it, I think, is because he's playing so much defensively as well. They're trying to cut his workload down. And they've had a lot of good weapons. They have a lot of other weapons in the pass game that they've been able to utilize. So,
a kid at 215 pounds coming running out of high school, that presents problems in business decisions alike.
I'd take this one-on-one right down here
Right
at the
here
bottom
in front
of the
of
screen.
us. Right here in front of us.
And I'd give it a shot deep right there, and you got him deep. But you got to run it now.
Got to use your timeout. Got to use your timeout. Can we put Dunphy at X and just do a little a little Turner coming up hobbling. So the Monte Vista Mustangs, they have their quarterback in Dresick, their backup quarterback, but he's playing with a cast. So we've got a JV player. If he comes into the game, so the timeout, it'll be 2nd and 2. Turner's hobbling pretty good. Tough kid, though.
Yeah, and the JV quarterback who came up, and the JVs have had a terrific year, and they won today without him.
Christian Ceremonies Johnson is the backup quarterback.
Terrific
for the Mustangs.
athlete. He's had a great year. What I want to see is him come in, because I don't remember the last time I saw a number 31 play quarterback.
That's beautiful.
It is a beautiful thing.
21 was Johnny Hadel, but not a 31. So Mustangs looks like they're in like a max protection here. I'm thinking the reason they're taking a knee is that Turner's a little banged up.
Yeah.
And they don't want to take a chance.
I mean, if he's a little banged up, I still might have given it a shot. You can put him in the shotgun, let him chuck a deep one.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a plant foot to stand on. So, well, started out great for Monte Vista. 3 straight scores, 3 straight possessions. They were benefactory of a bad snap by Amador Valley. But then the Dons score on a 48-yard pass, Tia to Harrington, and then Monte Vista throws an interception, and Harrington gets another 29-yard touchdown. He's got over 150 yards receiving, but could be a lot of game left. But mine is interception in the end zone, and that's going to cost the Babcock family another $50, and we're okay with that. That's the first turnover Monte Vista has caused in their last 3 games. Or 4 games, rather. So that's a huge play, because if they get 6 and get the 2-point conversion, they've got the lead and they're going to get the ball to start the second half. So Mina with a great play there. We're going to take an audio break here from Sam Zackheim Memorial Field, where the Monte Vista Mustangs lead the Amador Valley Dons 21-16. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you. George T. Schramm Mortgage, contact 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm for your mortgage needs at georgeschramm.com. Monte Vista football, celebrating 57 years of Monte Vista football. Want to support MV football? Go to montevistafootballboosters.com to donate. And American Asphalt, taking care of business in the Bay Area for over 40 years. Ned Milin has over 20 years of experience in the financial industry, serving individuals, their families, business owners, and corporate executives. Ned proactively helps to develop a comprehensive financial plan in order to provide the appropriate investment strategy for clients. This includes retirement and estate planning, asset management, tax planning, and liability management. Please contact 1998 Monte Vista alum Ned Milin to develop a plan for your family. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial. Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you. George T. Schramm Mortgage, contact 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm for your mortgage needs at georgeschramm.com. Monte Vista Football, celebrating 57 years of Monte Vista Football. Want to support MV Football? Go to montevistafootballboosters.com to donate. And American Asphalt, taking care of business in the Bay Area for over 40 years. Ned Milin has over 20 years of experience in the financial industry, serving individuals, their families, business owners, and corporate executives. Ned proactively helps to develop a comprehensive financial plan in order to provide the appropriate investment strategy for clients. This includes retirement and estate planning, asset management, tax planning, and liability management. Please contact 1998 Monte Vista alum Ned Milin to develop a plan for your family. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals.
Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for 75 years.
Persevere Lending, based in Danville, specializes in the brokerage of privately funded real estate loans in California with a focus on the Bay Area. Monte Vista Football Hall of Famer Damon Bauer's team at Persevere Lending can help you achieve your financing goals with their array of alternative and unique mortgage options. Damon has a 20-year track record of success and is ready to go to work for you. Go to perseverelending.com to learn about our strategic, creative, and efficient loan programs for residential and commercial properties, and our safe, secure, and lucrative investment opportunities. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you. Monte Vista Football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you. George T. Schramm Mortgage, contact 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm for your mortgage needs at georgeschramm.com. Monte Vista Football, celebrating 57 years of Monte Vista Football. Want to support MV Football? Go to montevistafootballboosters.com to donate. And American Asphalt, taking care of business in the Bay Area for over 40 years. Ned Milin has over 20 years of experience in the financial industry, serving individuals, their families, business owners, and corporate executives. Ned proactively helps to develop a comprehensive financial plan in order to provide the appropriate investment strategy for clients. This includes retirement and estate planning, asset management, tax planning, and liability management. Please contact 1998 Monte Vista alum Ned Milin to develop a plan for your family. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals.
Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration,
We look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for 75 years.
Persevere Lending, based in the brokerage of privately funded real estate loans in California with a focus on the Bay Area. Monte Vista Football Hall of Famer Damon Bauer's team at Persevere Lending can help you achieve your financing goals with their array of alternative and unique mortgage options. Damon has a 20-year track record of success and is ready to go to work for you. Go to perseverelending.com to learn about our strategic, creative, and efficient loan programs for residential and commercial properties, and our safe, secure, and lucrative investment opportunities. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you. Monte Vista Football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you. George T. Schramm Mortgage, contact 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm for your mortgage needs at georgeschramm.com. Monte Vista Football, celebrating 57 years of Monte Vista Football. Want to support MV Football? Go to montevistafootballboosters.com to donate. And American Asphalt, taking care of business in the Bay Area for over 40 years. Ned Milin has over 20 years of experience in the financial industry, serving individuals, their families, business owners, and corporate executives. Ned proactively helps to develop a comprehensive financial plan in order to provide the appropriate investment strategy for clients. This includes retirement and estate planning, asset management, tax planning, and liability management. Please contact 1998 Monte Vista alum Ned Milin to develop a plan for your family. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals.
Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for 75 years.
So Monte Vista will kick off. They lead Amador Valley 21-16. Amador was driving to score at the end of the half, and the sophomore out of Danville, California, Grant Mina, with a interception. And I think he's going to make a couple of plays in the second half offensively. Amador threw for 240 yards passing. You got McMahon, 12 carries, 48 yards. Dunphy, 4 receptions for 76 yards. Wooshpard, that 1 reception for 54 yards. Turner, 9 of 17 for 157 yards and that 1 interception. So, although Amador's played turnover-free football, that 1 snap, they gave the Mustangs the ball at the 1-yard line, and that was an easy score. But we'll see what kind of adjustments Monte Vista makes defensively. Short kick and nearly goes out of bounds and picks up 4 extra yards after contact. And we mentioned the kicker, Kerrigan, has got 16 touchbacks on the season. Amador will take over with their first drive of the second half. The ball nearly went out of bounds. So Monte Vista defensively, what adjustments do they make need to make, Coach, here in the second half?
Well, I think that they've got to go by set, and they got to heat them up in situations like this when there's two backs in the backfield. When they're in empty and they're throwing the ball quicker, that's when you got to kind of play coverage. And
there's Harrington with that's a simple 10-yard route that turns into a near a 29-yard gain by just a simple throw out in the flat. But it's one-on-one out there.
And that's, again,
you're on an island.
And we talked about it earlier with the first touchdown that he had down the sidelines. You got to use the sideline as your 12th defender. You can't let him back outside like this right there. Squeeze him in. He's got nowhere to go. Play it outside in. Don't give up the sideline.
Don't have the official statistics, but Harrington is well over 180 yards receiving so far. Throw out to the flat. Why not just go and attack something until they stop it? And a solid reception out there by Stout. Said his name a couple of times, and then we've got an injured player, and we'll take a timeout. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
God, that name comes back 50 years later.
Mina just not hurt seriously, just a cramp. He'll get a little hydration and come back. But 2 plays for Amador and yada, yada, yada. They're in Monte Vista territory at the Mustangs' 43-yard line, and they'll stay with this offset eye. We used to call this weak right back in the day. Tia, 9 route. He's got a receiver. And incomplete. Wow. Andresic made more contact earlier in the game than he did here, but he's called for the pass interference because the back judge hasn't thrown a flag all game long, but gets involved here.
Looked like a terrific play defensively, and frankly, the ball was underthrown by Tia. If he puts it out where he needs to, it's a touchdown. And that's a really good play on the ball.
So it's only in high school. It's only going to be a 15-yard penalty. There, 9 route. It's not a complicated offense, but you got to appreciate Amador continue to just attack downfield. You got one-on-one coverage. What can you lose? So that it's a 15-yard penalty on Monte Vista. And Dressick, pretty good coverage there, but the back judge ruled that pass interference. So 3 straight passes coming out of the possession. Counter right up the middle and a nice gain again. Number 20. Dennis.
And that's really the first run of any notice, of any positive game that they've had tonight, coming with the counter. Monte Vista's done a really nice job against their run game, and they've really just been hurt with the pass.
Just giving up the gap. You get pushed 2 holes out of your gap. When you do that, there's nobody behind you, and Duenas just right up the middle. So right now the Dons are in the Monte Vista Mustang, they're in the red zone. Double tight formation. Play action pass. Tia is sacked. Whooshpard. You know what he did that I liked, Coach? He didn't go for the fake.
No, he stayed on his feet, put his hands up, but he didn't go for the fake and jump up. And, Amador, they were a double tight end set right there. First time they've shown that tonight, a heavy run set.
That goes against their tendency.
It goes against their tendency, but the play fake is a little bit off. It looks like somebody went the wrong way. I believe the tailback went the wrong way, and what that did is it brought the linebackers into the play. If the running back goes the other way, it freezes them a little bit more, and he may have an option to throw to. But right there, because the back went the wrong way, it took the linebackers right into it.
Back to this empty set here, and then the Dons don't like the defense and a little confusion, and we'll call a timeout. I want to thank all of our partners here for Monte Vista football, starting with Ned Milin and Morgan Stanley. Spitz Jewelers, Persevere Lending, George T. Schramm Mortgage. Appreciate George's continued support. Monte Vista Football, celebrating 57 years of Monte Vista Football. Go to MonteVistaFootballBoosters.com to make your tax-deductible donation tonight. The Babcock family, I said at the beginning of the year, for every interception after one, because the Mustangs only had one pick last year, that my family would donate $50 per interception. So they've got 7, so we owe $300, and I'll sell some more asphalt to pay for that. And speaking of asphalt, American Asphalt, taking care of business for over 40 years in the Bay Area. Empty set, Harrington in motion across the formation, and it's a quarterback draw. And that's a great gain.
That's a really
in that
nice
situation.
Play call. Really nice play call out of Coach Jones right there. And, just getting back and getting most of it back right there, putting himself in a situation where he can actually go for that.
That's the tempo of the draw, though.
And watch him finish this run right here at the end. Bam, right there.
Extra 4 yards. So now it's a very manageable in 4-down territory, 3rd and 6. Oh, the rain is starting, Coach. So we said around 9 o'clock there would be some precip, and here we are. So the Mustang, hopefully both these teams get a little garbage bag, getting the towels out. Strong or weak left formation. Tia, slant route, incomplete. Mina coming off the cramp. So it'll be 4th down. So the last time that the Dons were down here knocking on the door, Grant Mina got the interception in the end zone.
They threw the fade, the low percentage fade, and obviously was picked off. I don't think they'll come back to that. I see somehow them trying to get the ball into Harrington's hands here somewhat early and let him run with it. I would expect Monte Vista to tighten up the coverage a little bit since it is 4th and 5. You got to sit on those chains. You got to sit right there, and that's where they're going to run that route. And I would look for them trying to get the ball to Harrington somehow.
Harrington is going to line up on the right side, and he's going to go in motion across the formation. Might be a little rub route for him. And he catches it, and it's front of the chains.
Nope.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get the first down here. We're going to bring out the chains. We're going to get a measurement.
I think he's a little short.
You talked about playing along the chains.
Yeah.
I think they heard you. Just get the chain. Let's get a measurement. Let's go old school. Don't trust the lines.
Where's the yellow line? I don't see it.
Mustangs get the stop.
Good job defensively. They sat right on it like we talked about, and they played it smart.
So you talked about this is an important thing. These are high school kids. We know that. They gave up some big plays. They could go into the Gumby Shoulderville. They didn't. They played tough. Their red zone defense has been – they've stopped them the last 2 possessions.
Yeah, both teams. I mean, Amador, Monte Vista's had the ball down there as well, and the penalty brought back the first down play that they had, and they had to settle for a field goal attempt.
So that 4-minute drive by the Dons they don't get any points. And McMahon held for no gain. Thought we might see it naked with that wide open to the wide side of the field.
Yeah, and Monte Vista's got 3 guys out there, and there's only 2 to cover them. They're keeping a linebacker inside, and Coach Wingert's got to see that, take advantage of that, and something quick to number 2 out there. The number 2 receiver is being uncovered.
Wow, we always talk about the number games.
In that situation, it was the number 3 guy, but one of them is going to be uncovered. When Gabe Gifani, number 10, their linebacker, gets out there, he's got to choose who he's going to cover. All right, we're going to go. They should check to, and they don't check to it this time. They don't check it empty,
and they're going to blitz. They show blitz and back out of it. Turner.
And he's wide open down the middle. Touchdown if he had it. If he throws it.
He throws it late over the middle. It's almost intercepted.
Had him wide open. Exactly what we talked about.
Hopefully we've got a wide shot of this.
You'll see Torrin Dunphy come wide open when he clears the linebacker.
Torrin Dunphy, number 8. A little bend route. Right there.
Yep.
But he's only hoping for just a quick count. So now it's going to be 3rd and 9 here for Monte Vista. as the rain is starting to get a little heavier here November 1st, and we've got some precip.
Nice and toasty in the box.
It is. And Mrs. Babcock bringing us coffee and hot dogs like old times again. Turner, drop off to McMahon, and it's going to be a first down and then some.
Little T-cross right out of the backfield.
Simple throw, but well executed.
Well executed. And you know what? You saw that on film, and Coach Wingard and I had talked about it this week. They show that those two linebackers in there, if you empty it out and you free release the back, he's got a wide open lane in there every time. It's tough to cover.
And the DB didn't want anything of Julian McMahon. That's a big conversion on your own 9-yard line to come out or their own 10 to convert on 3rd and long. So they'll break formation here. And it's going to be a screen to Kinzer. And you know what I like that he did is he stayed. We always say this play hits around the television numbers, between the hash and the television numbers.
Well, if you look out there again, too, it's a numbers game. And they don't have enough guys out there to cover it. And so you take advantage of that. You got a 3-on-2 out there. You see two guys up there. Harrington, who's playing safety, is 15 yards deep. If the safety's making the play, you're getting positive yards on that.
That's an extended run, but you got to appreciate Kinzer's not, he's come into a situation where he's getting an opportunity and gets immediately up the field, and it's 2nd and short. Mustangs got their whole playbook. Edge blitzer, bubble screen, great call if you can get a block.
First down.
Gets the first down. But that numbered game, if there's a missed tackle.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You got numbers out there. You got two guys to block, two. And then you're one-on-one with the safety, and you're hoping your back or your receiver can make him miss. But that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that kind of an opportunity so that your guy can get out there and run. If they sustain the block, they got to do a better job with that first block. They both missed, and he still get positive
And I know
yards.
Kinzer missed, but he didn't block him in the back to compound the mistake.
Yeah.
Remember how many times in film, you not only missed the block, but you compounded him by coming back and blocking in the back. Kinzer got in the way, and the Mustangs were able to convert the first down. So it's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. A lot of Don's jerseys at the line of scrimmage, and the Mustangs will call time out. So next week, Monte Vista will host San Ramon Valley, and this will be the 64th matchup between these schools. And that's including playoffs. Not to jump ahead, but we've got to preview the game. That's our job. And they'll be battling for the Gelderman Trophy. The last time the Mustangs won in the Gelderman Trophy game, not in the playoff game, but in the Gelderman Trophy game, was October 28th of 2016 when Jake Kaner and Corey and Nate and Cromie and all the Shane and all the guys we had with that team got the win over San Ramon Valley. So the pregame show will start at 7, and the game will start around 7:15. But we still got a lot of game left here. Mustangs up by 5. 1st and 10 after the timeout. So they only got 2 timeouts left.
Here it is again. Now you got cover 0 across the board. You got a guy that can get to the post. Right there.
That's a hold. No call. How is that not pass interference? I'm going to let you break this down.
Well, talking to Coach Wingard on this, I think they need to throw this to the feet
down the field
to the boundary though, and you want to go work away from the safety. Down here, you got a linebacker covering Julian. You want to get your fastest guy in there and make 33 cover him to the post, and that's the thing that you got to do. Is if you're going to get man coverage, expose the middle of the field.
Nemo Fangula with the coverage there, blanket coverage on Monte Vista as it rain continues to fall here at Sam Zackheim Memorial Field. And when the students got today off, they really took it seriously. Turner, McMahon, and picks up a nice gain. Such a big target.
Yeah, and you talked earlier about him not getting involved in the passing game as much, and you see what effect it has when they get him involved in that. And, it's taking advantage of that fifth man. They're not blitzing a lot tonight, so you can release that back a lot. Normally you have to keep him in protection, but the fact that they're not blitzing too much, you're able to free release him.
Yeah, Julian had over 20 receptions last year. This year, coming in the game, has 7. He has 2 tonight, 1 for first down, and this one is making a manageable 3rd and 2. It's belly, and I believe he gets enough to make the first down. He does. So not a lot there on the belly play, but a lot of white jerseys in the box.
Coach, you talked about, next week with the San Ramon game, we also have an opportunity, Monte Vista does, to push the Valley Championship so that there would not be a Valley Champion. That's just an added incentive. Valley Championship
we had no idea. Well, the first year we coached, you weren't in the game. The only time I got to, and I didn't want to, we lost to Livermore, and so we got McMahon on the reach, and go Julian go, running through pedestrian-type tackles, and that's an explosive run. So anyway, getting back to the Valley Championship, we had lost. We didn't want to get in. We lost to Livermore, and I had to break down the film. We got a player down for Amador. And at the end of films, Brent Cook, who needs to be in the Monte Vista Hall of Fame, great baseball player, great football player, asks if he can talk. Now, Brent didn't say a lot, but when he did, it was very meaningful. And he explained how that game was for the Valley Championship because we had beat Cal, and if you beat San Ramon, that's the Valley Championship. And we had no idea. It's our first year coaching, and then we started researching and finding indeed that we might, if we could beat San Ramon, as bad as the Livermore game is, we still had a chance for a postseason berth, which we got by beating San Ramon.
And you must explain that getting in the postseason was much more difficult.
Because the following year, we were 7-3, beat the defending NCS champions, Bishop O'Dowd, at their home.
Break a 39-game home winning streak for them.
And in the playoffs. We're 7-3 nowadays to get you a top 4 seed. Anyway, we digress. 28 reach. Julian just finding some room.
And finishing.
And then we've got a flag here.
Most likely a hold down the field.
Our referee is Cam Jones. And Cam's been officiating football for a long time.
Looks like they're going to get Carson Brown on the hold.
Well, I guess there was a reason why he was able to go and tiptoe along the sideline. So these are drive breakers.
Well, in reality, you can call a hold on every play,
right,
at every level of football. And
but there's also you have to, as a football player, you have to understand the situation. Julian's already got his 10, 12, 15 yards. And you got your block. You've done your job. But when you want to go and let me see if I can pancake this guy into the end zone, that's where you talked about discipline. Mm-hmm. Now it's cost the Mustangs not only the 10 yards, but the 20 yards they got on the run. So that's our 5 route, and it goes incomplete. Pretty good coverage underneath. That was not an easy throw to Kenser.
Yeah, ball sailed on him a little bit. If he pulls that ball down a little bit, that's a catch. Kenser ran a nice route, created some good separation on the outside, and I don't know if I necessarily love the play call here in this scenario because they're trying to get it all back at once. To get half of it back. Put yourself in 2nd and 10. 2nd and 20 is it's very difficult because you put yourself way behind the chains.
So the Dons trying to get a stop here. The Mustangs they had the football would have been at the Dons' 28-yard line, but the hold sets him back. Turner's got time. Don't know why he's stepping up into the pocket, but, hey, he picks up some nice yardage. It's going to make it 3rd and 10. Well, did he need to leave the pocket?
Well, he was. His primary receiver was running a little Texas route, a little cross route. The receiver tripped up and fell. And when he fell, that took his eyes right down the field, which was
and I can appreciate.
Right move. If you look, you'll see he trips over somebody right here.
We got a little reroute, bad spam now.
And once he fell, then he put his foot in the ground.
And I owe Braden, apology. You know what he did? He was decisive with his decision. He didn't go, he didn't get caught in between. He picks up 10 yards. It's 3rd and 10. Could be 4-down territory. 28 reach. Julian's got a hole, and he sticks it in there, and it'll be 4th down and a long 3 here.
Once again, they could go back to the freeze play. They've got all three. They've got their timeouts.
But in order to run that freeze, you got to get that play in and out and make it so that he's not counting down in the back. Forward lean by Julian, who had 48 yards at half.
And this is a situation. I mean, you might run the ball here because they're expecting a pass.
Yep.
And if you look, they're not loaded up in the box, but they're in the shotgun. I don't like the shotgun run. It's going to be a pass more than likely. They may free release him out of the backfield, and they do.
Nice call defensively by the Dons. Number 9.
And that's
Tommy Vespi coming off the edge.
That's where the scenario we talked about how they hadn't blitzed. They were able to release the running back. Well, they released the running back there, and when you do that, you've got protection problems. You've got to throw a hot receiver, and there's got to be a hot receiver built in, because you can't block them all when you're releasing 5 guys.
So the Dons play a little complimentary football, but we talked about it. As soon as he had the hold, you knew what the potential outcome of this drive would be. And the Dons are going to get after it and throw the football. There's a hold by the left tackle, no call. Mine a good coverage. That's out of bounds. No way they call this in.
Terrific catch, but
hell of an effort.
We'll see if he got his foot in. I think he got the wind knocked out of him.
Stout goes up and makes a play on the 50-50 ball. You be the judge.
Terrific catch. I mean, and a good throw. Hard to tell if he got a foot in right there.
Boy, what a play by the Dons.
And it's tough, as an official. They're always shorthanded. They don't have the amount.
You know what though? I appreciate he was immediate with the call.
Yeah,
didn't lag around there. But
we might get a better look here from this angle. See if he can get a foot down. He got the foot down. That's a
terrific catch.
Hopefully, it's just the wind knocked out of him. He landed on his back, and a lot of times that's what happens.
In the rain. It's getting a little stronger here. So the initial was like a curl route, and then this is the extemporaneous. Good job, Jason. We're going to give him the catch, and hopefully Stout has just got the air knocked out of him. This turf, when it's cold, is unforgiving. He's hopefully just the wind knocked out of him. He's a two-way player. But they've just got so many guys that can go up and catch the football.
That was a great effort. Good throw.
Yep.
And, you didn't put any pressure on him, and that's that set where they had the 2 backs in the backfield. I think that's the set that Monte Vista's got to get after him because he's getting too much time to throw.
And I like this time of the year. Okay, we were running in this strong or weak formation, and we're 90% run. Let's flip it on them. And you got to appreciate this is a balanced team. They've run 183 passing plays, 183 rushing plays, 181 passing. Very balanced. Pitch right, and just kind of following us through the outside of the Monte Vista defense. Marana, the junior running back. There was just nobody out there on the edge for Monte Vista.
Well, they're going to
go hurry up here.
Monte Vista, they may catch him with too many people on the field. They did.
And then a loss of yardage, so they lose 11. So far, the last 2 times that Amador has been in the red zone, they have not scored. You using your Santa Clara math here, big fella?
Well, I was seeing if we had enough players out there, Monte Vista side. And if you're Amador, I think they've had more success when they can get him outside the pocket. I try and get him to the field out here, stretch the zones a little bit, and see what he can do because they haven't had a lot of luck in the red zone just behind center and straight drop back. They got to move that pocket a little bit and force Monte Vista to have to cover guys on the run.
It's our old Eagle formation, Harrington in motion across the formation.
And
it's a sprint draw, and he slips and he loses 2 yards.
There's the rain. The rain is, obviously was a factor on that play.
Yep.
And none of these guys, we've had so little rain, nobody's practiced in the rain. And so it's tough to get used to.
We were the original guys in the East Bay that stole this play originally from a college team. And then Sweeney stole it. And then we ran it against, when it works, it works. Third down here, empty formation. Tia capable with the feet, throw, and incomplete. And that was probably his most inaccurate throw. And you talked about the weather, and that goes incomplete. So now it's fourth down.
This is all set up with the fact that they wanted to go fast in that first play. And they go fast in that first play, don't get anything. Now they're putting themselves behind the chain. So not sure why people want to go fast in goal line situations. It's in the red zone.
Especially when you're moving the football.
Yeah, to me it's a wasted down. There's different rules, obviously, in college where you get substitutions and those things. You can get mismatches. But
this is a long play. You can tell it's a long verbal play because they're not getting it, and then Coach Jones is going to call a timeout. They're going to start counting in the back. No, they're not. Snap Patia. He steps up in the pocket. He escapes to the left. And he's into the end zone.
Well, there he is. Get him out on the edge. I talked about it a little bit a couple plays ago. When you get him outside the pocket, he is so tough to defend, and that's where they've had their greatest success in the red zone. And, obviously right there, that's just a great play out of a good player.
He extends this football. He wants to throw this football. But when you replay, go back on this, Jason. As a rule, as a defender, you don't want to rush past a scrambling, nifty-footed quarterback.
No.
And watch the edge here. Julian rushes right by the quarterback, but then he doesn't retrace his steps. You got Wooshpart out there, and then as he's going, he hits his shoulder. I don't know if he's cramping up.
Well, Tia they had the right call on. They brought pressure, Monte Vista did. They didn't make the play in the backfield, and once that happened, then it's a free-for-all and the best athlete on the field.
But if you've got that stunt called and you slow play that edge, he's going to run right to you.
Well, when you're coming off the edge like that with a guy, you're hoping that you get a little push inside because you're forcing that guy up in the pocket like he did. They got no push inside, and when he stepped up, he was able to break contain out to the weak side.
So that is Tia's 11th touchdown rushing on 4th and 13. And we've still got an injured player on the sidelines. I believe that's Chase Wooshpard. And I believe it's just a cramp because he extended out on that play. We'll take a break and we'll come back. You're watching Monte Vista Football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
Lending, based in Danville, specializes in the brokerage of privately funded real estate loans in California with a focus on the Bay Area. Monte Vista Football Hall of Famer Damon Bauer's team at Persevere Lending can help you achieve your financing goals with their array of alternative and unique mortgage options. Damon has a 20-year track record of success and is ready to go to work for you. Go to perseverelending.com to learn about our strategic, creative, and efficient loan programs for residential and commercial properties and our safe, secure, and lucrative investment opportunities. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you.
So 36 seconds left here in the third quarter. And two previous times that Amador has been in the red zone, the Mustangs are able to get a stop. But on 4th and 13, Tristan Tia, committed to Oregon State, he scrambles out left, has his eyes downfield. He's looking for a receiver. The Mustangs got coverage. But that's tough as a defensive back. Because also it's easy for us to say, gosh, he's crossed the line of scrimmage. But a small margin there that it's tough to have the field awareness to know that he's crossed the line of scrimmage.
And you're in man coverage, and so you can't leave your man when
Right.
he's out there. He does such a good job of finding guys while he's on the move. If you leave your man, more than likely he's going to just dump it to the guy and score a touchdown. So they're forced to stay coverage, and in man coverage, there's nobody else out there once he breaks contain. It's very gutsy for him to run the ball from 13 yards out, knowing that if he doesn't score, it's a turnover on downs. But terrific play.
I don't know what kind of arm strength he has, but I know what his field awareness is. You can't coach that.
No. He's just a good football player.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time. There's a difference between, having a lot of athletic talent and being a good football player. And he is fortunate to have both, but he understands the game. He understands where everybody's going to be. He understands what his role is and what he needs to do to help the team win the games.
He did everything on that play to try to throw the football with his eyes downfield and looking for a wide receiver. But then he just got to a point where I've got to go and try to get into the end zone, and he did just that. So the Dons lead by 1, and, of course, they're going to go for the 2-point conversion.
Which in this scenario, actually, they should.
Right, by the old scorecard we used to keep. And Wooshpart is still down. But they are stretching the legs. Those cramps, when it hits you, your first tendency is to extend out your toes, and that's the worst thing to do. And it's painful.
Well, and it's a lot of sitting around now for both teams.
Yep.
And and other guys are in danger of getting cramps too,
Yep.
because you're sitting there and you're somewhat warm, and now you're getting cold, and that's when a lot of the cramps happen.
So it's 36 seconds left here in a scoreless third quarter. I think they're going to let things play on since Wooshpart is safely out of the way. So this is a big conversion here for the Dons.
One of the first times I've been able to see a coach from the 2-yard line. Coach Millard able to stay down.
No rush on Tia. He's got room to run. It'll be an easy conversion. He just peanut butter and jelly legged the Monte Vista defender out in space. So we've got 24 straight points by Amador Valley. 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions. I'm close to the window, big fella. Just a little bit. So how does Monte Vista react? And you're going to be down to your third tight end.
Well, Monte Vista's got to keep doing what they've been doing. They're moving the ball, but twice in the red zone they've had penalties. They had a holding penalty when they ran the zone, the reach play on the last drive.
And then
they had an illegal man downfield down before, and that's put them way back with a long field goal attempt and having to go for 4th and 10. So it's the discipline and the self-destruction that's happened in the red zone tonight for Monte Vista at this point that's kind of keeping them where they are.
Short kick. You got to field this kick. Does on the 35. Gets up the field. Gets the football. Monte Vista will take over on their own 29 with 31 seconds left in a third quarter where the Dons got into the red zone twice, but the second time they did, they got the score. Tia working his magic with his feet, and then also converts on the 2-pointer.
And if you're Monte Vista, just, like I said, get back to what you were doing. Everything's been working for you. Just be sound with the ball and be sound with your decision-making when you're blocking.
There goes Julian, the 50, down to the 40-yard line. I think they had the duct tape. Torrin Dunphy played tight end there, and he sealed the edge and then some, and McMahon breaks off a 30-yard run.
Yeah, and Monte Vista is very light right now in the tight end department with Kellen Ford being out and Chase Wishbard being worked on for a cramp down in the end zone still. So Torrin's going to have to be the number one guy at tight end, which forces another guy to go in at H. And so a lot of shuffling going on by Coach Millard and Coach Wingert, trying to find out the best combinations, what's going to work.
Well, we're coming up to the fourth quarter. Monte Vista looking for getting this EBL win. They trail by 3. Amador Valley 24, Monte Vista 21. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life by maximizing your potential for meeting life goals. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. Persevere Lending, we have capital available for you. George T. Schramm Mortgage, contact 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm for your mortgage needs at georgeschramm.com. Monte Vista football, celebrating 57 years of Monte Vista football. Want to support MV football? Go to MonteVistaFootballBoosters.com to donate.
So, believe Julian McMahon is over 1,000 yards on the season. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. McMahon breaks through the tackle. Oh, he's down, gets 11 yards. But we talked about the weather and the wet field. And
we also talked about backside blocks, and still the guy who trips him up is the backside guy. And you'll watch, I mean, right here, look at it, right there is what slows him down enough. And the backside guard, I believe it's Carson Brown's got to do a better job of cutting that guy off.
He was also
it's a very easy job.
Called for the hold. So it's 11-yard gain, but it could have been a touchdown. So 1st and 10, Mustangs lined up in fleet. This formation presents problems to the Dons if you have the right play called. Here comes the edge blitzer.
Keep those feet moving. Finish that run a little bit. Not a lot there, but get that couple extra yards. Right there, they wanted to come with heat. They were playing man across the board. And so a lot of one-on-one opportunities for Monte Vista should they want to take a shot to the end zone right there.
We got an official timeout. I believe we've got an Amador player who's going to have to come out for at least a play. And that's Kelleher will come out for at least a play. 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. Mina and Kentzer lined up tight. And then we've got Dunphy and Luengo at the bottom of your screen. Play action pass.
Got the tight end.
Wide open. Kentzer, the catch. Down to the 3-yard line. Did Kentzer fair catch this one?
He waited a long time for it. Now
they're wide open.
They were running the old what we call the Falcon play right there, but they ran it to a different person, not the tight end. They ran it to Kentzer, a receiver. He had to go around. What took so long, he got caught up in the coverage with number 10, and it slowed him down just enough, and it kind of changed the route from a wheel route to a crossing route, but effective nonetheless.
So, I always make suggestions of plays, and never did they ever get taken up. That one was immediately taken up. Yeah, let's run the Falcon. They'll call it the sleeper, a lot of different calls. But, again, Kentzer thinking on his feet, right? Understand he's got kind of, the GPS, his path got screwed up. And Braden going, I know he's open. Yeah, I just got to buy a little bit of
Braden
time.
Did a great job of keeping the play alive and then throw it to him. Or just get it to him. It doesn't have to be a perfect throw.
What are they going to run here on the left hash? And you've got 2nd and goal from the 3.
Well, they'll probably run to the right side. They had to put a backup left tackle in because Dakota had to leave the game. I believe his helmet came off, so for one play at least.
Bootleg. Didn't attack the line of scrimmage. He does here. Throw into the end zone. Incomplete.
Yeah, he got to attack more. He did a nice job of pulling up and using the pump fake to get back inside, though. He kept the play alive and used his athleticism. Put it where it could have been caught. Did a nice job. Had a chance to catch that. Couldn't come down with it.
Is Mina open a little bit here on the flat?
Well, I thought if he comes out
just
hard.
Quickly?
Yes. Right off the bat, he had it.
So, third down. Now, if you don't get it here, do you go for the field goal? Tie it up?
In this scenario, no. At this point, I'd go for I'd run the ball twice. Give it to Julian, let him try and score in 2 plays. Only need 1.
Touchdown, Monte Vista. Julian McMahon. He's 1 touchdown away from passing Damon Bowers for 6th all-time in Monte Vista football history. 29, runs 29 reach and puts his shoulder down and finds pay dirt. That's the first Monte Vista score since 11:43 in the second quarter. Kerrigan with a very important extra point here to take a 4-point lead. He does. 28-24. That is a nice drive for Monte Vista. Executing left and right.
Really did a nice job of establishing the run there, too, throughout that whole series. Julian ran the ball with authority. Most of it picked up on runs, but that one nice play right there that put him down to the 4-yard line.
An unsung route on this, we'll just keep it here, Jace, is Luengo crossing and bringing the defender with him and not looking back and going, when's this play going to happen? It took a long time, and sometimes that's what happens. You draw it up and you run here and run here. You've got to think on your feet, and both players did.
And that's not being, you want to be, that's a selfless play, which is great. That's what you want.
Right.
And you're not going to get the ball thrown to you, but you have a big part in that play by clearing it out.
When he gets reps, I've noticed this, and you'd love this on film, where you just say if teams are in man coverage, sometimes your best run block is just a 9 route. George T. Schramm Mortgage, our kickoff partner. Contact George at georgeschramm.com. So the Mustangs will play defense as the Dons take over on their own 30-yard line with 9:45 left of the game. They trail by 4. And again, we had mentioned 19 of the previous 47 matchups have decided by 1 score. 6 of the last 12 have been decided by 1 score. As the rain continues to come down here at Sam Zackheim Memorial Field. They line up in this formation, but they've done a good job of throwing out of it, and they'll do it again. Tia throws. He's got a man downfield, and it's complete.
Yeah, he caught him late.
Mina didn't really have much vision on the ball, and it's complete to Mark Emerson, but he is down, taking a hard tackle on his shoulder. But that is a completion of 31 yards. Tia went to about his 4th guy on this read, Coach.
Yeah, he came all the way. He's checking left, comes all the way back right, and still gets rid of it nice and quick.
Throws such a catchable football. But Mina quickly reacted to make the tackle. But Emerson, the injured player for Amador Valley, but I'm not going out on a limb here, but the Dons had 240 yards.
I think it was the wind.
Yeah.
Look at him run off.
200.
Love it.
Is this soccer? No, save your letters. 240 yards passing coming in just at halftime. Pretty close. Well over 300.
Yes.
And he's on the verge of a 400-yard passing game. The Dons have the football on the Mustang 38-yard line. Good football game played by these teams tonight. Heavy formation, double tights. And the Mustangs this time play the edge.
Very nice job on that.
Play the edge. So we talk about coming back. Mina, he gives up the big play. What's he do as a sophomore? He just keeps playing. Watch him seal the edge here, Coach, and turn this run play in, and then the Mustangs are running to the football.
And it's good pursuit, flat down the line.
He's taking on an offensive lineman. Mina taking on the puller, and it's a loss of 2.
I think that was Zach Strumpf making the play.
Run into the football, good things happen. But watch the edge set.
Yeah, Zach, great job. He went flat down the line. Really good job by him.
Mina playing outside in, keeping his outside shoulder free. Fake screen. Here comes the middle screen to Harrington, and the Mustangs are all over it. This time they retrace their steps and make the play. And who was in the middle of that is another sophomore out of Denville, California, Justin Grisham. So it's 3rd down and 10, which is 4-down territory.
Yep, right there. Nice job coming back on the play.
Retracing Kuia, retracing his steps and coming back down the line. It's 3rd down and 10. Harrington on the left hash. Mustangs showing pressure here, but they drop into coverage. Throw over the middle, and it's complete. It'll be a 1st down, and you guessed it, Harrington. And then he's got to tell everybody about it. He is having a nice half of the season in one game.
Yeah, we talked going in. He only
It's
had
just
4
an in
touchdowns private before that. And
Just an in route.
Linebacker's not getting any depth at all, and that's one of the things right there. They've got to get some depth on that. They're not blitzing, so they're not playing man. They've got to get back into their zones.
He sinks into that hook zone. It's a much more difficult pass for the quarterback. Motion across the formation, and then we've got a penalty, and it's a procedure on the Dons. So they do 3 steps forward, and then they'll take one back here, so it'll be 1st and 15.
Is that the first penalty on them tonight?
No.
They've had another?
No, they've not a lot. They've had at least one penalty. This is the second one. But the Mustangs have got to make a play here defensively. Clock's running, 6:54 and counting. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. And the times that the Dons have been in this formation, they've run either some type of screen, and they're going deep, or the flat route. It's complete. A missed tackle. So if he tackles him at the chain, at the down marker around the 24-yard line, it's 2nd and 10.
Well,
but he doesn't, and it's now going to be 2nd and 6.
And much more manageable. Obviously, they got a lot of that
This
back.
is a long throw, Coach.
It's a long throw, but it was designed to not get the 1st down, but to get a lot of it back, and it did. They were actually trying to get a 6-yard gain and get it to 2nd and 10. They got 10 out of it. Now, I would expect here that for them to break the pocket on one of these next few plays because they want to take advantage of his athleticism. So I would expect them to probably go to the field here. Some sort of boot, some sort of rollout, because that's where they've had their most success in the red zone.
So the only thing that's really defended Harrington tonight is the turf. He slips on this.
Mass substitutions coming in.
We going cars, must.
Oh, I think this is their
substitution,
empty set.
mass confusion here.
And this is Monte Vista in the red zone in these situations has had good success when they've been bringing a lot of heat.
3rd down in 4-down territory. Knitzer in motion across the formation, and they're not a lot there. The handoff was to Vespi. Speaking of sophomores. So the previous possession, the Dons were able to convert on 4th and 13. Now it's 4th and 1, and we've got more substitutions for the Dons.
I mean, this is a big play. You know, if I'm Monte Vista, I might think about taking a timeout here, looking and see what they line up in, and then taking the timeout before they run the play, set your defense accordingly.
They go
if you
empty.
Can stop it right here.
They go empty.
You got to look out for the quarterback draw in this scenario.
And it's a numbers game here at the bottom of the screen. Tia, and I don't think he got it.
I think he's short.
I don't think he got it.
It's close. The guy on the top.
If the Mustangs get to stop, their red zone defense has been pretty good tonight. We want a measurement. We love the chains. Well, here's a good look on the replay, Coach.
First down, Monte Vista.
Ooh. We might have got a little break on that spot. But red zone defense for Monte Vista. Dons have been there 5 times tonight. They've only scored twice. Here's the replay. He needed to get to the yellow line with the football. His helmet's there, but the football's not there, and the Monte Vista Mustangs get the stop. Okay, let me set this up. So there's 5:02 left in the fourth quarter. Monte Vista has the football on their own 14-yard line. It's 4-minute offense. I know there's 5 minutes left. Doesn't mean you get conservative. You get the yards that you deserve.
You run the ball. You stay in bounds, not go out of bounds like that. You want to keep that clock moving. That's a big mistake out of Julian right there. He knows better than that. Stay in bounds. Yeah, and Coach Wingert might want to just call plays to the field in that scenario so he doesn't even have that opportunity.
Right.
But that puts him behind the 8 ball right now because the clock stopped. And in 4-minute offense, you want to keep that clock moving. You want to get 3 first downs and run this clock out.
We didn't even get a chance to break down what the 4-minute offense is. But the one key is to stay in bounds. McMahon, and he's met rudely by Longmire.
And there's 2 timeouts for Amador. I wouldn't use them just quite yet.
They're not going to. They're not worried about it one iota.
And if you're Monte Vista, you've got to throw the ball here. I mean, because time really doesn't matter. You've got to get that first down to keep the clock moving. I mean, they've got plenty of time to score. Amador does. So if you're Monte Vista, you must try to get this first down.
Well, the pullers pulled, but then they let guys run by them, and it's a no gain. Maybe Dunphy here over the middle.
In this scenario right here, you got a 2 deep. You could get somebody split in the middle. They've had good success with that.
So it'll be 4th down. I know they're going to punt, but you've got to make sure that you don't punt this ball before the 4:23 mark. I mean,
if you're Monte Vista, it looks like they're going to run it all the way down and take a timeout. I don't know if I'd use a timeout in this scenario.
Yeah.
I want to keep those 2 timeouts.
Are we going to freeze play this thing? What do you think, big fella?
They're going to let it run out, and I don't think they should take a timeout because they may need those timeouts.
But you don't want to lose the 5 yards either, do you?
No, not in this scenario.
It's 4th and 4. And the Mustangs appear they're going to go for it, but they're going to just try with the long count, and then the Dons are going to be disciplined, and then they're going to lose 5 yards. So now,
they took a timeout. They took a timeout.
So the Mustangs take the timeout. So now they only have 1 timeout left because they used one very early in the 3rd quarter. So they're going to bring on the punt team.
And this is one of those scenarios, and you got to tell your punter, if they're not rushing, we talked about it earlier, take your time, let the coverage get down. You can tell the way they line up. If they line up and they just are playing their base defense, which is what they did, and they have 2 guys back returning, take your time, give them the chance, and then punt it.
So it looks like Harrington is –
Nobody deep.
So, I mean, this is a great opportunity.
Why would they not put somebody deep? Makes no sense to me because they're obviously in a punt formation. They're not going to go for it. This is crazy not to have somebody deep. They're now going to back up Harrington.
But they're also going to probably try to put a little pressure here. Nice kick. Fair catch. And Amador will be in great field position. Monte Vista worked 1 minute, and because of Julian going out of bounds, they worked just over nearly 2 minutes off the clock. That's it.
Could have worked a full another minute if he didn't go out of bounds. And then another, it would have forced the timeouts too.
Yes. All right, so the Dons have the ball at their own 44-yard line. They've got plenty of time. And the Mustangs have 12. Now they have 11.
They've been throwing a lot out of this
Now they have 11.
Set.
They're not ready for this play, and they're going to take a shot. Here, it's going to be the hitch route. You got to tackle. Harrington is just killing them. And then he gets out of bounds, and then the Mustangs get a cheap shot, and it'll be a 15-yard penalty.
There's the mistakes you can't let happen.
Well, the first thing is this isn't the first time they've run this hitch out to the flat.
No.
You got to come out and make a play, but then you compound it and hit the receiver late out of bounds. And they were misaligned. So right here, you got to make this tackle. This is the old jungle drill back in the day. And then right there with the hit out of bounds.
Not,
and that's on Dunphy. That's shocking that he would make a play like that.
You know what? And that's as you look at him running down the sidelines, you're going full speed. I mean, it is a penalty. It's not an egregious penalty, and you know when you're running full speed like that, you got to lay off. But it's hard to tell how. Yeah,
it wasn't like he was 5 yards out of bounds. So now the Dons are at the Mustang 28-yard line, and 2:58, clock is stopped. Mustangs have one timeout. The Dons have two, and they'll line up into this bunch formation, and it's an inside run.
Little twist off of what the formation that they ran. They've been running the pitch out of that set. They ran an inside run on that.
Duenas with the run. And it's a nice chunk. And so the Dons got two things here. They want to score, but they don't want to score too fast and put the ball back in Monte Vista's hands.
Well, you know, at this point, you want to just score.
Right.
If you score on this play, you score on this play, so be it. They've got to, if they want to have success, they're going to have to break contain. They're going to have to do something to get him out of the pocket because they've had way more success defending that.
Legal procedure. So you've got new personnel in for Amador, and it was obvious. And the rain just continues to pour here in Monte Vista. So this will wind the clock. The Dons do not have – it's 25 seconds after a dead ball. So the officials should be watching this because at 2:20, he whistled the play in.
Well, we know that they don't watch that.
So right now he should be hand counting. And he's not. Wing counter, and guess who? Harrington. He can catch it and run with it, and then the old wing counter.
Seen a nice little three-play series off that bunch formation. They've run the pitch. They ran a little power play off there. Now they're running the wing counter underneath. And I guarantee they've got some sort of naked or pass out of that as well. Little four-play sequence, I'm sure. That's perfect timing, nice play call. They've had success with the pitch. Now you fake the pitch, hand it underneath to your best player that's been playing the best today, and you get him the ball. And now the clock's moving, but it's really not a factor when you have those two timeouts.
So they're the bunch formation again, but watch the big fella jet and might take you to the play. Bootleg.
There's your fourth play off that, and he might just run this. So you've seen that. Coach Jones, nice job of packaging plays and doing things out of those sets.
And got two Mustangs down, Dunphy and Dixon. Dunphy gets up. I don't know if he's going to have to come out for a play.
Now, if that were in college or pros, that would cost them a timeout.
But guys hesitating when they're getting to the tackle.
I really like what Coach Jones is doing offensively. He's really done a nice job of packaging things tonight and doing different things off those sets.
Off their strong run tendencies when they get into those certain formations.
A very resilient team, too. They've had a lot of opportunities to get down in this game, but they never did.
You're rumbling down, and you got a chance to hit the quarterback. You got to lay out and get to him.
Yeah, there's another example, though, breaking the pocket. They have been so tough to stop tonight when he breaks the pocket. They've got, if you're Amador, you want to do that here down in the red zone almost every play. give him that run-pass option because he is such a phenomenal runner as well. He finishes plays. He makes good decisions. So you put it in your best player's hands, get him outside the pocket, and let him decide whether he wants to run or pass it. That's tough on a defense.
Tia is an incredible athlete, and he's got a lot of. He had the offers from Utah, but he's committed to Oregon State. He's just a calm, cool, and collective football player. They'll continue with this bunch formation. Watch Jetton. He'll take you to the play. Doesn't quite get to the end zone, but we'll get a new set of downs for the Dons. So it'll be first and goal from the 2-yard line, and the clock will wind as soon as the chains are set.
If I'm Monte Vista, I'd take my timeout right here.
This is important.
Time not a factor for Amador with 2 timeouts and 4 downs.
And it's a sneak, and it's a touchdown, Tia. So Monte Vista had the ball with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left on their own 14-yard line. We're only able to work barely a minute and 50 seconds off the clock. And then the Dons get the ball on their own 44-yard line, and they go 56 yards. And Tia, what's that, his second rushing touchdown of the game? And his throws to Harrington, and then these 2-point conversions. So you can score as many touchdowns as your opponent, but you go perfect on PATs. So it's 30-28. This would make it a 4-point game. Oh my goodness, wide open. Talking about a concept, Goldsworthy with the sneak. But watch Tia's work with the football in the backfield. As we can go to that replay, 2 good fakes selling the run. 1, 2, and wide open.
Oh, and what's crazy is both guys were in the same spot. They had 2 receivers running there, so and nobody covering either of them.
So the Dons have scored 4 touchdowns. The Monte Vista Mustangs have scored 4 touchdowns. The Monte Vista Mustangs have converted all their PATs. So has Amador. Unfortunately for the Monte Vista Mustangs,
8 points.
Those are 8 points.
8 points off 2-point plays.
And in the field goal attempt in the end of the half because of being knocked out with penalties, and then you give them a free 15 yards here with the late hit. So there'll be 26 seconds left. Monte Vista has 1 timeout. And then you got players talking after the play, talking about discipline. But the 15-yard penalty, good, bad, or indifferent.
3 penalties tonight have killed them. The 15-yard penalty you're speaking of,
yep.
The holding call,
and the illegal
man downfield. All 3 either took points away or led to points for Amador.
Yep. And the Dons have answered. So I don't know why the big fella, Jetton's coming off the field because they're probably in their nickel package. He's just used to playing. Turner. McMahon, and you got to call a timeout.
Yeah, you better use it.
You got to call a timeout. You got to call a timeout. You got to call a timeout. That's 7 seconds off the clock.
Might be the last play.
Incomplete. Mustangs will have 1 more play.
And a timeout in their pocket. That probably cost them at least 1 extra play. They should have taken the timeout right there.
And you call 2 in the huddle.
Well, you just, you don't even need to call 2 because you either try and throw it out of bounds or throw something and spike it after that. You're going to need a Hail Mary anyway.
So
take your timeout. You got a timeout, use it.
Yep. Don't want to go home with it. Monte Vista's got some breaks tonight, and they've also made their own breaks. But before we started the game, you talked about the discipline part of it, right? And those things wear on you. And the thing, and credit Amador Valley, when the Mustangs have made mistakes, they've answered. You had that minute and 13-second episode where they put up 2 quick scores. Mm-hmm. We said it's 21-0. Still, Mustangs knew there was a lot of time on the board. And they've come back and they've answered.
It's the penalties. I mean, penalties are part of the game, but when they happen is the crucial part. On third down, or the extra 15 yards tacked on. Those are the things that you just can't let happen. And they're playing with a lot of young kids out there today.
Yes, a lot of new faces.
And guys have done a great job of stepping up and playing.
Hook and ladder. McMahon has it.
Get rid of it.
Nobody behind him.
Toss it up.
And the Dons get.
Oh, and a little extra.
Oh, what's 20? Great job by number 20 for Dunas. Great job by him. Great job by that young man. He's playing peacemaker in there, and this is frustrating, but you got to – Amador Valley comes out and just executes when they needed to. They were 0 for their first 2 times in the red zone, but then 3 for their last 3, and they get the 32-28 victory. And we knew, coming into this game about 1-score games, and indeed was that. So we'll be back here next week as Monte Vista hosts San Ramon Valley. And the Dons move their record to 6-3. From Sam Zackheim Memorial Field, where Amador Valley beat Monte Vista 32-28 to win this EBL matchup, the Dons move to 6-3 and 1-1 in East Bay Athletic League. Monte Vista's now 5-4 and 0-2 in the East Bay Athletic League. Again, our next Monte Vista football game on NorCal Sports TV will be Friday, November 8th, as the Mustangs host San Ramon Valley at 7 p.m. for the Gelderman Trophy. You've been watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt. Thanks to our crew, Tajari Hartwell, Naomi Carroll, statistician Dan Jones, historian Alan Holter, our director Jason Green, and my broadcast partner Craig Bergman. I'm Chris Babcock here in Danville. Good night, and thanks for being on the show.